Near, far, wherever you are, it's Entertournament of Champions podcast.
Women and children first.
Wow, that was so organic.
Thank you. It's relevant to today's topic of 1997 movies because one of the most overrated movies of ever came out. It's called Titanic.
It's on neither of your list. I'm calling you out. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, no, it's on my overrated mentions. That's the only one I have.
We're all going to have a talk about like casts and stuff like that.
I am. It's all three of us are the same fucking guys you've been hearing for the last, I don't know, 18 kabillion episodes, or however long we've been doing this.
Sounds right.
Yeah, it sounds actually accurate. So I'm Jeff. I'm joined by Kyle, who's over there. He's going to talk eventually. And then,
I forgot I was supposed to go, hey, I'm Kyle, it's me.
And I'm also joined by JD.
Hi.
Oh, okay. All right, well, that was super eventful. So let's speed right past that shit. Can I talk about some bad movies from 1997 really quick? Besides, Titanic winning everything, including box office, Academy Awards, all that shit, that pretentious-ass movie, way too long. It had one good thing going for it. It stretched out to 3 hours and 15 minutes. It was ridiculous. Anyway, I don't know how everybody else feels about that.
You nailed it.
Okay,
I've seen that movie a lot of times because we were a Titanic household growing up, but the movie's not an easy rewatch. It's not easy to go back to today.
Not at all. The whole time I'm like, will you just hit the fucking iceberg? It's ridiculous.
Right. Yeah, I cannot wait for all of you to die.
And also, look, I know people died, and it's a tragedy and stuff. And some people lived. But there's a lot of people that died and stuff, and it's a tragedy. But that's a dumb disaster. That's a dumb real-life disaster. Like a ship, a giant luxury ship, basically. Because there's some luxurious parts of it.
That's unsinkable.
Yes. Hit an iceberg and just couldn't avoid it. Couldn't avoid it at all. Sorry. I'm not going to look up. Well, if you looked it up, you're going to find...
Well, it was really dark out there, Jeff, but the human eye can only see so far without light reflecting up. Okay,
telescopes weren't invented yet, which is not true, but...
No, it's not.
But regardless, that was the juggernaut of movies until Avatar, and then I think Force Awakens eventually unseated Titanic, but not Avatar. I can't remember. At least in global box office. Cameron
is just a fungus.
He's a fungus. Why these movies and not Terminator 2? Whatever, that's fine. Well, R ratings, but still. Yeah. But yeah, so Batman and Robin, one of the worst movies ever made, came out.
Oh, that's terrible.
It's on my top 10, so let's be careful.
Tread lightly.
That's totally crazy, no.
I watched 15 minutes of it recently, and it's nothing nobody speaks in real words. They just all use puns and jokes.
That's the one with Schwarzenegger, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh,
nice to see you. Yeah. All of that. He only talks in puns.
I like the big twist when Robin reveals he has plastic lips on to combat Poison Ivy's poison. That was my favorite part. Oh, that movie's so bad.
Oh my god. Yeah, they do. They bust out the ice skate fighting way too fast in this movie.
I was like, this is the tone of this movie. Okay.
Oh, it's automatically shit now. Great. Wow. Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
Oh god.
That was another 97 gem.
Wow.
I like the first one. The kid in me likes the first one a lot.
I still watch it and enjoy it.
I do too. Garbage. I think that movie, there's plenty to get out of that movie. It's a good kung fu tournament movie,
Yeah, totally.
But this one, what the fuck?
Annihilation is bad and it's so noticeable because it picks up the second that the first one leaves off, and half the cast has changed.
I know, because they're like, no fucking way am I being a part of that.
Right? Yeah. No shit.
Well, that looks like shit. I'm out of here.
And then they kill. Don't they kill
Johnny Cage?
Spoiler alert.
Immediately.
You're like, okay, well, he was one of the few things I liked about the first movie.
The credits aren't even done rolling. The opening credits and his neck is snapped. You're like, what the fuck?
Oh, man. Awful.
It has one of the best line readings ever of whoever plays Katana's mother. Shiva?
Oh, she's the worst.
Whatever.
Oh, it's terrible.
Yeah, she's like, mother? And she's like, too bad you will die.
You will die. Yeah.
One of the worst. Shang Tsung plays up the camp and stuff that actor does, but I mean, it's funny and it's enjoyable.
Yeah, he does that good.
There's just no redeeming qualities in this movie, at all. I really wish there was. As a kid, I convinced myself there was. I was wrong.
I like how the guy from Highlander is like, I'm not doing anything. I'll play Raiden this time.
Yeah. Yeah, Raiden without powers for half the fucking movie.
Yeah, right.
Who wants
like,
to see that shit?
I want to become immortal and just fight people. I'm like, dude, do you even know Kung Fu? Like, you're a god. Like, this doesn't make any sense.
I got a haircut. Roll credits. Just roll
I had to
credits.
cut
I don't
off
give
my
a
hair
shit.
and get rid of my lightning. Sorry, guys.
Hey guys, I'm less interesting. Oh, great. Shaquille O'Neal played a superhero called Steel. I watched that shit as a kid.
Oh, God.
That was terrible. And I'm a Power Rangers fan. And guess what came out? The sequel to the first Power Rangers movie, Turbo Power Rangers movie.
Oh, Turbo.
Yeah, abomination.
Yeah.
That movie.
An abomination.
Abomination. And I'm saying, like, seriously. I mean, as a kid, of course, I watched it over and over again because I was a kid and I liked Power Rangers. And the more Power Rangers I could get, it just filled me up.
I'm with you.
Yummy.
I'm with you.
But Turbo, though, this was like, I mean, this is you got like a little child. He was 9 or 10 years old or some shit, like as the Blue Ranger, and he was one of the most annoying kid actors ever. Sorry if you're out there listening to this and you're suddenly, I don't know, one of our friends. I have no idea.
If you've somehow gone the last 20 years and never heard how bad he was in that movie. Yeah.
It's so fucking bad.
Like all his friends and family have lied to him this whole time.
He quit acting.
No, you're great.
That was terrible. George of the Jungle with everybody's favorite actor, Brendan Fraser. Not a fan.
Yeah.
That's all I got. Those
Wait,
are all
Brendan
terrible.
Fraser or the movie?
Not a fan of the movie. Brendan Fraser's fine.
He's fine. That's fine. I'll take that.
He's fine. You know what I mean? It's not like, who they announced so-and-so. They announced him to play
Brendan
JFK
Fraser, the new
Jr.?
Star
Oh my
Wars?
God!
Look at it! Encino Man!
I like that movie, though.
Great movie.
I do, too, yeah.
Great movie.
Yeah, buddy.
Oh, you want to feel really
Slip
bad about Pauly
face.
Shore? Watch the new Joe Rogan Experience where Pauly Shore is on it, where he just like complains about how he's not famous anymore. It's pretty sad.
Oh,
like
God.
not boo-hoo sad, more like oh boo-hoo sad, if you know what I mean.
Oh,
okay.
that's funny.
Yeah. Like fuck, I didn't listen to anybody. I just kind of did what I want, and I really put a lot of stock into the weasel thing, and that didn't pan out. I'm like, what? You thought that thing had legs?
Thing?
You thought it had legs? Okay. Anyways, that's my
It was a
Pauly
very
Shore.
90s personality.
I'm allowed at one Pauly Shore rant a podcast, so I've wasted mine now. So.
Yeah, that is something we agreed upon before we even jumped into this venture in general.
Cool.
Even in There Is No Podcast, I was like, dude, one Pauly Shore rant minimum.
Yeah, I remember I went into a second one time, and you're like, man, I will turn this podcast around.
I will stop this podcast and turn around. What? Just shut up is what I mean. So we're going to go into our top 10s. We're all going to take turns revealing each individual, 10, 9. We're going to go consecutive, people. Or not consecutive. Is that consecutive? Whatever. Yeah. I'm not going to be good with words today. My brain is fried from, we all have day jobs. So that's what happens whenever I sound stupid. That's my excuse.
I'm going to say that too.
Okay, cool. So we are going to do, just like the last couple times we did top 10 episodes, we're going to do the Salt and Peppa Push It. It's fucking ridiculous.
It is. It's great.
Best thing ever, though. So, like, if I have a movie at number 8 and JD has it at, like, 3, he can say push it and play the dumb song, and we'll push our discussion towards whoever has it higher, basically. So we can just kind of save repeating ourselves and kind of save time a little bit, I guess. I don't know. We'll all say the same amount, so it's fine. But like ultimately, it just kind of saves repeating. Well, I mean, it's just like you said. It's great. So what's your number 4?
Yeah,
like you know what I mean. And then it just kind of runs your argument dry or whatever. So there's that. Just wanted to remind everybody of that new thing that we're doing and totally didn't steal from any other podcast that do top 10 lists.
Nope.
So do they push it though? Do they play push it though?
No, they don't. They don't do. Okay. They don't do what we do.
They're not worried about.
We have our own little flavor of that,
They're not worried about copyright, or we're not worried about copyright. They
not even kind of.
Yeah, you can't copyright. I don't want to talk about this right now. Sorry, you can't.
Exactly. Yeah.
At the end, I think we can just throw out honorable mentions, which I'm sure we'll have a few. I do, at least. So starting this episode is Kyle. Kyle, you're starting this
Sweet.
Oh God, I thought y'all were gonna like say a good movie to like break the ice, but I'm gonna start like a very polarizing movie, and people are just gonna have to get over it. It's everyone's favorite horrible Resident Evil director did Event Horizon.
Okay.
Yeah, I really like this movie, man. I think it's a good like space horror flick. It's about a ship. It finds a interdimensional portal to hell. Comedy ensues, or horror. I don't remember which. Really fucking awesome. Like really practical, like gore and stuff like that. Just like a good old '90s, like space romp, if you will. But just everything fucking goes wrong, and it's just fucking awesome. Really like this movie. Hate that director. Had a lot of that last list too. I'm learning a lot about myself that I betray my own like feelings about certain people. Like I hate that guy and everything he's ever done, but I have 2 Roland Emmerich movies on this list. I'm like, what the fuck's wrong with me? Oh God, I learned too much about myself in this podcast. But I really like this movie. It's always been a favorite of mine. It's one that whenever I see on TV, I'm like, oh yeah, and it's always on the part that like Sam Neill is like taking his eyeballs out or whatever, I'm like, oh, all right.
Fun story about that movie, which it wasn't my favorite, but I didn't hate it. That's a positive. But this director also did Mortal Kombat, so thanks for that one good movie that I really enjoyed.
He was busy this year.
Yeah, I know. Well, not the Annihilation.
He
jumped out on that
one good movie.
He left Annihilation to do Event Horizon.
He left Mortal Kombat Annihilation to somebody else, I'm sure.
Yeah, he absolutely did. To do this movie, actually. And the studio that did this also did Titanic, and they were like, hey, guys, we need a hit before Titanic comes out in November or whenever the hell it came out. And so they kept pushing. They first allotted him 6 weeks to do editing, which is kind of enough, I guess, for a movie. And then they cut it down to 4, and then they cut it down to 2. So he had 2 weeks to edit a full movie.
What?
And
I didn't
that's
know
why
that.
people are like, that's why the people that are on the fence or negative about it are negative about it. They're like, it doesn't feel, like a full ending or a full movie or something. Like he just pieced it together the best he could, which was, certainly commendable. But yeah, he was under so much pressure.
Even more impressive, but not in a way that it makes it a better movie. A very impressive piece of fact about that movie. But
do you think that if he had more time with it, he would have made it worse?
Yeah,
I
100% believe that. He's like, man, I got all the time in the world to fuck this one up.
Next is moi. It's me. And my number 10 is probably going to be a push, I'm going to be honest. Maybe not that far down the line, but a push regardless. It's Face Off.
Yeah, push that.
Should we push that? Okay.
Yeah, we're pushing that.
Cue that shit. Yeah.
Cool.
All right, so JD, you're next.
Sweet. Let's see. I put my throw in here, the one that I knew nobody else would definitely have on theirs.
I swear to God, if this is homework
10.
for me. Oh, okay, good.
No. Liar, man. I love that movie so much.
That VHS got a lot of plays on my VCR.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember my parents, because I would have been 12 when this movie came out, so my parents went to see it ahead of time to see if it would be appropriate to take me.
Oh,
and
scope it out.
They almost didn't take me because in the boardrooms, and strictly for this reason, in the boardroom scene, he uses the word dickhead.
Oh, really?
That's a very particular reason.
And I'm like, well, why would you tell me that? Because now I'm only going to pay attention to that word and quote it all the time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Dickhead.
I got in trouble in school for saying the word dickhead. Not from this movie. I don't fucking know where I learned it. I just learned it.
I got in trouble for yelling "God damn it, Maverick" from Top Gun. That was not a good thing to yell out in school.
You shouldn't say Maverick.
Yeah. Maverick is a cow poop picker-upper. Okay, that's offensive. Man, liar. I quote this movie still to this day, pretty much endlessly. So I didn't get to rewatch it before this list, but I hope I get to before we have to do the bracket.
You'll absolutely enjoy it, and you'll realize that you didn't need the rewatch.
Yeah,
because I watched it and I was like,
to.
I remember all this.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, here's the weird joke about the claw. Okay, here we go.
Oh, you're scared of the claw.
You're scared of the claw.
Scared of the claw.
Coming after you.
He's so fucking Cary Elwes is just bad.
Yeah,
So good, bad,
dude.
but
yes,
bad.
for this role, yeah, but like another, except for Princess Bride, I guess he was perfect for that for some reason.
True.
Awesome.
That's definitely an exception, though. I hate to like shit on a guy who, I mean, we don't know, but I mean, I'm just judging based on his work. I'm just like unimpressed in general.
He was okay in Saw.
Yeah, it's decent in Saw.
Man,
Decent in Twister.
His ass off at the end of Saw. I was like,
Well,
dude,
I
this
mean-
is not for me.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I didn't feel that way. I don't love that movie or anything. It's just
No, yeah, me
I
neither.
like. Do you like Men in Tights, Robin Hood?
yeah, I do.
Actual
Oh
Men in
yes,
Actual Tights.
damn it, that's a
Absolutely.
good
He's
one.
really
too.
good in that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because he's playing like what I imagine is exactly who he is in real life.
True.
He's
Like
Prince.
snarky and like really like into him.
He's his Princess Bride character a little bit in that one too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
A little bit. Dave Chappelle in that one. That was like my enlightenment to Dave Chappelle. That movie.
True.
Yeah.
True.
But
Mine
yeah,
was
Liar
Con Air.
Liar is great, man. I think the part that I'm like in my head I'm going to, and I think about it and I chuckle inside, is where he is still. I mean, he's telling the truth already, and he's doing the case or whatever with the woman that cheated a lot.
Oh yeah.
seven times, and and he's like, I don't remember who. I think it was somebody was examining the witness who was the person who she cheated on with, whatever.
Cheated with, yeah.
Cheated with. There you go. Cheated on with. Therefore,
the turkey part.
and he's like, objection, and the judge is like, why? Because it would be damning to my case. And he's like,
Good
overruled.
call.
Good call. He sits down. That was just, it is so quick-witted, and he just sits down, and it was amazing. I love that part.
Like when he's beating himself up in the bathroom. What the hell are you
my
doing?
ass.
Yeah.
Kicking my- Yeah, exactly.
Who did this to you? A madman, Your Honor. The desperate fool at the end of his pitiful rope. What does this man look like? About 6'4", big teeth, kind of gangly.
I like the outtake too, where like the director put the other attorney like on.
Oh, yeah,
the
yeah.
actor who plays the other attorney told her to call him an overactor when they were exchanging insults,
Yeah.
and it broke Jim Carrey. He started
Yeah,
laughing,
broke up,
and she's
yeah.
like, "I'm sorry, the director put me up to it."
Yeah.
And I was like, "God damn it, that's so on the," because he is, outside of everybody else in the movie, he is acting like Jim Carrey in this. Like he's
Yeah,
Jim
oh,
Carrey at the
yeah.
highest level in the movie compared to everybody
Yeah,
else.
Yeah, he
Totally.
really is.
I enjoy it. It's an honorable mention. I could watch that movie rather often. It's just
Yeah.
something you notice in 2017 without kid eyes, I guess.
Yeah. It was between this and Face Off for number 10, and I've watched Liar Liar more, so that's what tipped it.
Oh, I get that. Okay, yeah, I probably would have done that too if had I not watched Face Off recently, and I was
Yeah.
like,
I do need to
holds
rewatch
up
that
out the
big
fucking
time.
ass. It holds up more than it should. That's for fucking sure.
Yeah,
so,
a lot of 90s don't make their way out of that time. You know what I mean? They don't hold
Yeah.
up well, so.
not action movies too. Like it's just
No.
hard to come across those.
Yeah.
And you're like, I get it. They're shooting at each other, and that's all they can do. But there's just more to there's just more to it. More to that dumb movie than there should be.
Right.
Kyle, what's your number 9?
Speaking of shooting at each other and whatnot, we just pushed Shit's Face Off.
Oh, cool. So
Cool.
JD, you don't have it at all.
I don't have it on my list, no.
Oh, okay, cool. I got you.
Uh,
so yeah, that was my
Any
10.
further.
So let's chit chat. Let's have a powwow about it.
Let's have a little powwow
do it.
about it. I feel like this was probably John Woo's last good movie. I think he went on to make just a lot of shit-tastic shit after this.
Yes.
And it's really good, man. Like, good gunplay. It's, his style, like all his 80s style Hong Kong action is like all over this movie. It's really really nice throwback, really nice homage to that time period. Man, Nick Cage and John Travolta having the time of their lives playing each other. They look like they're having the most fun like ever, like acting in that movie.
Yes. I agree.
I fucking love, and I love that. I just make that, and I saw this movie like 4 times. My dad loved this movie. He took me to the theater 4 times to see it. And it's just a movie that I've watched often, like throughout my life.
That's a loving father.
talk
Not that
about
movie's
over-
bad and not worth that, but that's a lot.
But that's not. I didn't want to do that. That's him. I'm gonna go see Face Off again. Did you want to come? Yeah.
Oh wow. That's
He loves
funny.
this movie. Yeah, no. It's like one of his it's one of his all-time favorites or whatever. You were talking about overacting. Jesus Christ.
Oh, God,
This
yeah.
movie. Oh my God.
Yeah. But it fits. It totally
It
fits.
does. It absolutely fits. Yeah. And this does hold up, I think. Like, you go back and watch this, and like the whole mirror scene, and all that stuff, like the action particularly is what I'm talking about. Just it holds up real well, I think. A lot of just dumb slow motion sideways diving type stuff, Just it was awesome. I really like this movie quite a bit.
Yeah, that's like the kind of what you think of when you think of '90s shoot 'em up movies. Is the slow motion diving and the doves and the John Woo-ness of Face Off.
Totally.
So I mean, it's kind of a definitive action movie for the '90s. In that sense,
I totally agree with that. A totally implausible storyline.
Completely. And I like how they tried to.
We're going to change your faces, but your body types completely change also. But we're not going to go into
Yeah, it doesn't add up at all.
Pseudoscience, yada yada. Here's some graphs.
Yeah, they threw the vaguest sense of science in there to try to explain. Well, you see, we put the thing in the lasers and the thing here, and just trust me, you're switching.
The magnetic prism, so fucking cool. What a great!
That was cool. I love
that idea. That was so cool to me. And how he gets out, how he makes that guy really mad, and just the whole prison break scene's fucking cool.
Yeah, it's great.
Some of my favorite lines that I always say creepily to girls that I'm dating. Oh, I hate to see you go. Love to watch you leave. Stupid, creepy Nick Cage lines and stuff like that. That he's making that entire movie. I could eat a peach for hours.
Oh God, yeah.
Real creepy shit.
It's crazy.
I just like that movie. Number 9.
I'm always wondering what happened first, the chicken or it's kind of a chicken or the egg scenario. Did Nick Cage? I don't know if they shot it in sequential order, the movie, because they don't most times for movies. Did Nick Cage come out the gate overacting to see if John Travolta could measure up to that craziness?
I can see that.
Was it the other way around? Did John Travolta have the first scene and go fucking bananas? You know what I mean?
John Travolta at this time is way bigger than Nick Cage. You know what I mean? Nick Cage is big, but John Travolta's been around for so much longer by this point. So maybe he was I'm gonna fucking dial it up.
Yes.
I'm gonna make this guy work for it.
I love to picture him on set when Cage is totally groping these the choir singers in church, and him on set with his head in his hands going, "Fucking seriously, man, I gotta measure up to that."
John Travolta's Scientology's not gonna like this.
I know. And he's I'm molesting his his daughter, not daughter.
Yeah.
It's just so creepy, and oh man, it's great though.
It's good.
Love it. Oh, it's so good. I hope that ends up making our brackets if our top 10s aren't too different. Yeah. So that means I'm next. Okay, so my number 9 is do we have this? I don't think we have the song. We don't need it. It's fine. Everybody knows it. Men in Black.
Oh man, I didn't even think about that.
Oh, okay.
Oh man.
But I'll tell you what. Doesn't matter because we're fucking pushing it.
Oh yes!
All right, good.
Thank you, JD. I'm
welcome.
not going to talk about any of my choices.
No, you're not. You're gonna
Everybody's going to have them higher. JD, what's your number 9?
It's Austin Powers, International Man of Mystery, baby.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Honorable mention out the ass for that movie.
And hard.
I can quote that.
That was number 10 until I decided to go with the Paul fucking Thomas Anderson movie.
There you go. Well,
not Thomas Anderson. He did have 2 movies this year, but it's the shitty Paul Anderson.
Paul Anderson. Yeah, God, I always get them mixed up. I always say the wrong one. They're like, wait, you like his movies? I'm like, yeah, dude, he does good movies. You're like, Resident Evil? I'm like, oh, I think I'm thinking about the other guy.
Oh, it's great.
Sorry?
Man, I remember seeing this movie in the theater with my dad and just dying during the urination scene.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. I mean, it's a minute and a half of just great.
I love
great laughter.
Overstaying its welcome comedy. It's just
yes.
goes on forever and ever. I love that.
He does it again when he's trying to reverse and do a U-turn on that big ass cart.
Stuck in the golf cart.
That's my favorite. Oh my god.
Yeah.
It's reminiscent of Mel Brooks stuff.
And that scene goes on forever. No!
Oh yes! Get out of the way! Move!
Yeah,
move!
Get out of the way!
No! It's so good. God damn it. Dude,
it should have been in my top 10.
This is one I rewatched recently, and I was like, I didn't even need to rewatch that because I knew all of it. It
right.
was just I just come on, give me a hug, give me a freaking hug.
Come here, give me a hug.
I like when he's telling his story at counseling. He's like, well, I came from a old, family, and he just launches into his whole story about his father likes to drink too much. And, that's good.
He used to beat me in a burlap sack.
All that stuff. Yeah. It's fucking Carrie Fisher, holding
she's the therapist. I love the bathroom scene with fucking God, name escapes me. Tom, what's his face? Tom Arnold in the stall next to him.
Oh, yeah.
When he's like, and the Lucky Charms guy's coming through. Yeah, that's right. You tell that turd who's boss. Like,
and he's still oblivious even when he sees the body. What did you eat?
What did you eat? Yeah, it's
so
great.
Fucking stupid.
I still say to this day, I too like to live dangerously. And out of context and in the wrong moments and stuff.
I like the penis enlarger stuff. That's not mine. It's like, and one user guide for the Swedish made penis enlarger. That kind of thing is my bag, baby.
Baby. That's awesome powers.
Even when he's near death, he's like, it's not mine.
Yeah. No, use it on him.
I love, okay, by the way, can we talk about how great the character names are? Like,
a lot of vagina.
On the, not just that, but random task.
Random task.
What the fuck?
Yep.
Basil Exposition. Exposition is his last name?
Yeah!
It's great stuff.
It's so great. Oh my god. There's so many on the nose homages to first it starts with the Hard Day's Night. Hard Day's Night homage where he's being chased around London and putting on various disguises to avoid. That's straight out of Hard Day's Night. But everything else is fucking Bond, dude. Old Bond, classic Bond. There's so you can go to Wikipedia and you'll see 20 references or whatever listed out for each movie that it references. It's crazy.
Yep.
Man, that movie is. I know that the jokes I've aged because we watched it so much and kind of ruined them, wore them out. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But I think honestly, this movie, I mean, it's fucking great. I would show it to
greats. Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
I would show it to my nephew if he were of a certain age. You know what I mean? It's something that they would laugh at and enjoy and watch over and over again. For sure.
I mean, I think I saw it as a 12, 13-year-old. I think today's generation easily could probably get into that.
Faster,
10 or 11, yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Because fucking Instagram and shit like that. There's a lot of giant fruit blocking private parts there too. So
machine gun jumblies. Oh my!
Nice rack.
All I wanted was sharks with frickin' laser beams, okay?
We have, what was it? They have sea bass or something?
Mutated sea bass.
Mutated sea bass.
Mutated. And then I like how his kid, Seth Green, is like, it's like, what are you going to do that for? He's like, just fucking kill him. He's like, no.
Oh, we'll kill him together. We can go in there. Black.
We can go in there. We can do it right now, man. I'll go get my gun. We'll do this right now.
Yeah, I loved having that element of a current era teenager straight out of one of those teenage comedies that we've been seeing all the entire 90s plugged into this universe to call everybody out for their bullshit and also have that daddy storyline.
Oh my god.
Take his teenage character from Isle of Hands and that's who he is in this movie.
Right. Because everybody else is being so fucking stupid. It's so great to see that.
I love the Will Ferrell bit when he's down in the little fire pit under the chair. It's it's beginning to smell a little bit like almonds. Here, let me try the other. Oh my God.
Somebody comes in to kill him and he's like, help me. Oh, see, I'm burning. I'm burned really bad.
You shot me! You shot me!
I can't believe you shot me! Oh my god.
It's so good. It's so random. There's a part too where somebody goes to take his cat, and it's just a random moment that I think of and I laugh at too. Where they go to take his cat, and he doesn't know how to let go cat gracefully. Right. So his arm follows the person taking his cat, and he has to roll back with the chair.
Yeah, the roller chair. Yeah.
And the camera doesn't move, right? He rolls off screen.
Yeah,
and
he rolls.
Yeah, he does.
It's great.
Dumb, very dumb, Spaceballs-esque humor. You could see the influence
Absolutely.
here.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
the big boy in space is
Oh my god, that's great. All the dick jokes in the next ones are great too.
God, so
totally.
So rocket shaped like a penis, and then it goes to the next screen, the next cutaway. That's a great running gag.
That's one of my favorite running gags ever. And they did that every movie. They're just
they did.
It's funny.
It was always when's it coming? When's Johnson?
Johnson. Yeah.
Oh man, it was great. Let's just Austin Powers cast.
Yeah.
Welcome everybody.
Groovy, baby.
Jesus Christ. So JD, that was yours, and Kyle is next with his number 8.
All right.
Oh,
Yeah, and number 8. Yeah, that's where we are.
The Lost World, Jurassic Park.
Ooh.
Oh man, that's a good one.
Yeah.
To me, at least. I mean, some people are like, I
I
didn't like this
people
part.
Are like, ugh. And I got one thing to say to them: trailer scene. Trailer scene.
Yes.
Trailer scene. One of the greatest, like at that time, like coolest action set pieces because it was so practical. Except when it was all falling down, it was very fake. I would say, but
Right.
Everything else was really cool, man. It was really intense, and you get the T-Rexes up there. It's just fucking awesome scene, and a lot of cool characters in this. I like the main safari leader guy, Roland, I think his name is, and he's like, dude, I'm just here to fucking tag a giant T-Rex. Like that's what I was promised. That's what I'm here to do. That's what I'm gonna do. Everything else can kind of go to hell or whatever. Yeah. And then I think the fucking third act is a little corny. They're like, we're going to go to the city. It's a Godzilla movie now. I'm like, okay.
I still like that, though.
It's okay. You know what I mean? It's I just rather, whenever they're running through the long grass, they're like, they're in their territory. We're in cities all the time, it's nicer to see, their backyard and, you're in their, food chain, if you will. It was still fun, though.
The Spielberg's directing really, really helps this movie be above average. It's an honorable mention because I did watch these they were drugs, man. I watched that movie. This was a year that I rewatched a ton of fucking movies all the time, and this was one of them. And I remember specifically the way Spielberg directed that trailer scene, because you had the guy outside the trailer doing many things at once, while trying to not get eaten, which was great. On top of the people in the trailer worrying about the glass collapsing and stuff,
right?
And
every
what's her name
little
falls,
thing falling down, really cool.
But yeah, then the raptor scene where what's his damn it, I think it's just the entire team is out there looking for something. I can't remember what.
They're running from the T-Rex that invaded their camp, and then they're get separated in the long grass or whatever.
Yeah, and you can see the long grass move.
The
way that it moves, it's so cool, man. There's 5 raptors.
Fucking iconic scene, man. It's so cool. Don't go under the long grass, and they just start falling one by one. You see the tails wagging in the air. Oh, it's so good. A lot of good going on in this movie.
I agree.
And it's I love the first movie. I've seen this movie more. I enjoy this. I like this movie more. Not saying it's a better movie, is my point. But yeah,
you like it more than the original?
I personally like it more than the original. I am not feigning that it's a better movie.
Well, I'm going to take it as you're saying it's a better movie because I am personally offended on every level.
Yeah, whatever. You couldn't find fun in Event Horizon, so I don't know.
It was fun,
It is fine. It's a fine movie.
I like Event Horizon a lot. I would defend that movie probably if it makes the bracket because, I don't know.
When we eventually get to our top 40 movies of all time, you'll see why I'm personally offended. How dare you, sir? No, I'm kidding.
What?
Lost World's still great.
Jurassic Park's your number 3. It's when did that happen?
Yeah.
What?
My entire rankings changed.
You're this secret Jurassic Park fanboy all this time. I'm a purist in what they did to that sequel.
That's a good choice. It's definitely an honorable mention for me, for sure.
Fun movie. I hate the gymnastics part too.
Oh yeah, me too. That's the part that gets called out a lot. Look at this bullshit. And I'm
I like that whole scene though when they're in that area running away from the raptors, even beyond the long grass scene. Everything except the gymnastic part is great.
Right.
Yeah.
So going to my number 8, it is probably I think it's another we're gonna have to push. It's forget about it. It's Donnie Brasco.
Yeah. Push it.
Push it. You come to the good part too.
Yeah, I literally picked up at the second where the previous episode ended off.
Oh, that's funny.
We're gonna get all the way through this song.
So we can say we're only in violation of copyright one full time.
Yeah, right. That's true. God,
they won't find it. At 30 seconds you played the fucking thing. Unless they're actually looking for it. Yeah, Donnie Brasco's my 8 and it's being pushed. So JD, what's your number 8?
Well, my number 8 is one that we pushed earlier. It's Men in Black.
Here come the men in African American.
Oh, he's got it. So the MIB.
Damn, how did I time that up right? I wasn't even listening to it. That's
I know, right?
That's just luck.
Pretty good.
Great fucking movie, man. This was,
I know.
I feel like every movie on my list that I saw in theaters, I feel like, man, I saw this one with my dad. I'm realizing, like, that's literally all of these movies for now. Because I didn't have a car. So how the hell else was I going to get there?
Right.
Yeah, man, iconic. It's one of Will Smith's, I think it's one of his best movies that he's ever done. At least the first one. I didn't really care for the sequel all that much.
I didn't care for any of them.
Really?
Honestly, yeah. Like no. Men in Black is great. The first one's great. I can watch that all the time. But like,
you didn't like the Brolin one?
No.
Really?
No. I thought it was stupid. I'm sorry. Kyle, did you watch any of the sequels?
I did not fucking watch that Brolin movie, no. I watched the second movie, and I'm like, yeah, I think I'm not going to watch any more of these.
Yeah, the second one was not good.
No,
not at all.
No,
it's just totally ridiculous.
Super convoluted.
I like the first one a lot, man. It's just charm.
Yeah, me too.
I thought it was telling a good life kind of story that the world is not often. It's not as big as it maybe isn't even as small as it seems sometimes.
Yeah.
So.
Right.
Yeah.
I thought it was cool. I mean, I know it's like an adaptation of comics that I'll never read. I'll just die never reading them. But
Yeah, me too.
right. But I mean, I don't know. I still watch it kind of go without taking that aside. It's like really, really fucking original and cool to look at. Sure, it's based on comics, but still, like, it's something that even like I'm thinking when I was a kid and watching it, I was like, sure, this is totally real life because if there were aliens, they would make me forget. You know, this is totally a real thing.
Yeah.
And I love, I mean, the design of all the aliens was really cool, even the ones that were CG
cool.
and some, the ones that weren't.
The humor
is
great, man.
The humor is on point and sharp. Like, I know I can recite the humor like by, every line, but still, even watching it sometime when he's like, nobody's going to call me Junior, nobody's going to call me young guy, whatever, nobody's going to call me any of that. And Tommy Lee Jones, without missing a beat, he's like, whatever you say, Slick. It's just like, and he just keeps talking like, and he's called a nickname throughout the entire movie. They call him a scout or whatever. Like, they call him a name every single fucking time they run into him.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's so right. You're so right.
And I also like the little gag. There's a gag in there too that's very I can't place the humor. It feels straight out of like something absurd like Curb Your Enthusiasm, where they're all trying to take a test in those oval shaped chairs. And nobody can figure out how to write the fucking write on the they keep breaking pencils and shit, and he drags his table over all slowly and loud. Yeah. Do you want to get in on this?
You want to get in on this? Yeah.
I always took it like that was the test. Like what they were doing on paper didn't matter. It was who was gonna be the problem solver.
And then his explanation for shooting the girl with the books. She's up to some shit, man.
Yeah, look at that quantum mechanics. She's 4 years old. Yeah.
It was great though. I love the misdirects.
Trying to get his pup on up here. Look at him.
He's just trying to get his gym on, man.
And I like the all the misdirects with some of the aliens. Like you had the dog alien where Will Smith's going up to the slender old guy and he's like, "Oh, that's the worst disguise ever." And then the dog starts talking.
Dog's an alien, yeah.
Clever as shit, and that dog's great. They kind of overkill that with the sequels, but that's fine.
Yeah.
And
you guys like one. That? Yeah.
Yeah, you guys like that? Throw it in your face all the time. It's great though. Will Smith. I mean, this is like I think Independence Day obviously was a giant success for him, but this one was like he can lead a movie and it's just effortless. Independence Day had more of a ensemble thing going there, at least with 3 main leads, I guess.
I would say so, yeah.
But this one, he led the shit out of it. And Tommy Lee Jones is great too. I love the no nonsense character, who just ignores like everything that Will Smith says in it. It's just great.
Yeah, it's awesome, yeah.
And I love the scene where they're flying the car or whatever, and Tommy Lee Jones is like dancing to Elvis or something.
Yeah.
And Will Smith is like trying to stand on the roof of the car while inside. It's so fucking ridiculous.
Elvis didn't die. He just went home.
He didn't die. He just went. Yeah. Oh, it's great. There's so much great stuff in that movie. It's so
Good
clever.
chemistry with them too. Yeah,
So that was my number 9 and JD's number 8. So that brings us back to Kyle and your number 7.
Oh my god.
Uh-oh.
Man, I got a real soft spot in this series, and this the first movie went on to win the year of 1996.
Yeah.
Right? I think it was. Yeah, it's Scream 2, man.
Oh,
Awesome.
okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I really like this movie. In a lot of ways, I like it more than the first one. This is a really good year for sequels and stuff like that, which we don't get that anymore. Unless it's a shared universe or something like that type of property or whatever.
This is the one with Jamie Kennedy, right, where he's explaining the rules
both.
to horror flicks.
He's in all of them until he dies. Yeah, he's in the first two.
Okay.
Might be three. I don't remember.
He's in three, but like in the form of a videotape.
That's right.
And then there's like a gag where he tells somebody to shut up during it. It's great.
Yeah.
Because Dewey's like questioning him, and he's just like, "Shut up." Dude, it's like he knew he was going to question him because he knows all the rules. That's the greatness of his character.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I really fucking love these movies. I even like the fourth one. It's not one I ever defend. Like, oh, I hate that movie. Yeah, I see that. But it's just like these movies are so meta, like so incredibly meta and satirical without like being goofy. You know. That I think that's like a kind of the crowning achievement of this whole entire series or whatever. And this is just a really fun movie with like so many fucking ridiculous twists. Oh, it's my mom and it's my boyfriend's mom and mom. Like so many like he done it, she done it type of twister at the end, you know. And I don't know. I really like this movie quite a bit. It's one I haven't gone back and seen probably in the last 3 or 4 years. I mean, like it's pseudo recently, but not
it's
like
really good, dude.
Whatever.
That's a pretty hard honorable mention for me. I have a ton of them, by the way. But that's a really good one. I rewatched that, and I watched them in order. I watched Scream and this one next, and Scream 2 talks about sequels a lot in it, especially Jamie Kennedy's character. In that sense, the dialogue kind of plays on that, and I don't know. There was just the writer of this. It's like the same writer for all 4 of them. Just kind of had more of a grasp on the dialogue for Scream 2. Whereas in Scream, I don't know. It was kind of like, here's how teenagers would talk, you know what I mean? But even then, it's still Scream is goddamn brilliant, don't get me wrong. But Scream 2 just felt like, I don't know, he had more of a grasp on it. And I love that they put in Cotton Weary as a character because he was, accused of this crime. And I was like, oh, so we're never going to hear of him. And then they introduce him in this. And he's not like a great person, but, he's owed something, you know what I mean? Like, he's owed pretty much a life. He didn't get one because of mistaken identity, I guess. So it's cool really unfortunate for him, but he had his time to shine at the end. And by the way, what I love about this series is that the villain, whenever they reveal themselves, the actors turn it up to fucking 11 every time.
Yes, every time. I'm like, you weren't doing this all movie.
Exactly.
I'm the bad guy now, motherfucker.
In the first one, it's only like specifically whenever it's 2 killers, it's typically only one of them. And in this one, it was Timothy Olyphant. He is dialed up to fucking 11. Ooh, I like it. It's fucking crazy. It's just fucking insane. And then the last one, it was the dude who's not in anything anymore. Sorry, guy. Oh, he's in Twin Peaks, I guess. Matthew Lillard. He was, oh man, it hurts, man, and all that stuff.
Oh,
deep, man.
It's ridiculous, but that's so highly enjoyable, though. And
it is.
The motive of the killer made sense. I mean, it was the mother of her ex-boyfriend that she killed.
Exactly. Yeah, Billy Loomis or whatever.
But she lost a lot of weight, so she didn't really recognize her, so it kind of worked.
Yeah.
I like how everybody's a horrible person, pretty much, except for like Dewey and maybe what's her? Damn it! What's the main character's name? Sydney. Obviously.
Nev Tyler.
Of course. Nev Kernberg. But like everybody else, like Gail has her own fucking agenda and everything, and I don't know. It's just everybody else has their own like little dark side to them. And like Jamie Kennedy's character is like he's accused of like getting fired from his jobs all the time because he's a creeper and stuff.
Yeah.
So I mean, everybody has like a dark side, which I enjoyed. Man, that's just a good movie. And the scene where Dewey's getting like stabbed and shit.
Oh my god, yeah.
And like it's like behind a screen that's like like a glass window or whatever that's silent.
She can see him, but he can't like see her. Yeah, it's pretty.
Yeah, great. Exactly. It's oh my god, it's brutal.
Yeah.
It's
She's
great.
Screaming at him to turn around, and that's what everyone in the theater is doing. It's awesome. And I love the opening scene too, where the girl gets stabbed in the theater.
Oh yeah, and they talk about things that were like kind of ahead of their time, like people talk about still now. Is like, black people, because they're 2 black people, spoiler alert, talking about black people in horror movies and stuff, and how they're just, and how white people just do dumb shit the entire movie.
Yeah.
And that's what Jada Pinkett Smith is calling out the entire movie, because, it's a dramatization of what happened in Scream, I guess. Why is she getting fucking naked? Stuff like that. It's great. Yeah, but they're talking like about stuff that people still like. It's a very relevant topic.
Yeah, absolutely.
People need to watch these movies, man. They're great.
They're really good.
Yeah,
they really are. And everyone has their own thing, but the first two, I would say, have like a lot to take from. I would say.
I agree. I remember at the time, Scream 2 was like heralded as like better than Scream 1. I don't.
It's still on Rotten
now.
Tomatoes. It's still considered better if that's
right.
If you subscribe to all that.
I don't really think that now, but it's.
I would say
opinion.
that like while my life I thought Scream 2 was better, I think that the iconic cultural impact of Scream 1 obviously kind of holds it at a higher like standard, at a bigger light, if you will.
Right.
For me,
I agree, but Scream 2 is still great. Great pick.
Great pick.
So my number 7, nobody's gonna fucking bump this one, god damn it, or push it, whatever the fuck we're calling it. And my number 7 is Contact.
Nice.
Starring Jodie Foster and Matthew McConaughey. I'm just gonna go watch her go in his wormhole real quick. There's a little bit of wormhole stuff in this movie.
Oh no, he was training.
Yeah, he was just watching and observing and training for his time in Interstellar. That's all he was doing.
Clearly.
I love this one. This was in my top 5 for quite a long time. The only reason it kind of went a little lower is because the dialogue. I didn't realize how on the nose the dialogue was about religion versus science. But it's a huge aspect of this movie. It doesn't overtake like the sci-fi element of it in terms of the lady. Carl Sagan wrote this book, by the way, that the movie's based on.
Oh, cool.
So there's like smartness there and shit, like this when he wrote about aliens and he advised Kubrick on, I think it was him that advised Kubrick on Aliens for 2001. He's pretty much one of those advocates that's like aliens wouldn't, I don't know, it'd just be better to not show them, you know what I mean? So like, because there's just, you're just gonna let people down if it's real or something, and it's just I don't know, your image of them is just kind of silly and cartoonish. So he kind of falls in line with that theory or whatever, and he really only shows you the audio that they send to Earth, and that's what Jodie Foster's character is trying to find out, is where this is coming from and if it's actually communication, and of course it is, because there would be no movie if it wasn't. It's great though. I fucking love it. Matthew McConaughey is great in it. He's the guy he's more religious, and when they decide to send somebody into this machine that they build to try and actually make contact with the aliens.
Oh no.
That's the name of the movie.
Yeah.
They have like this jury or whatever you want to call it, of just people that just ask questions, like a commission or some shit like that, who just ask questions to potential candidates, and they asked Jodie Foster point blank, "Do you believe in God?" And she was like, "No, I don't." And that like impacted, because this was a very real thing, a fear at the time, at least in '97. It might still be, but it's kind of, people are more open about if they don't believe in God. But it was more like a thing that the country like en masse like just didn't trust people that didn't believe in God.
Yeah, right. No, I remember the '90s. Yeah, I mean, it was like that.
So I mean, when she said no, that kind of cost her the job at the moment. There's that entire thing where he's religious and she's not, but they still kind of fall for eeach other. And Robert Zemeckis did this, and he's one of my favorite directors. He did Back to the Future and Forrest Gump and Flight, which
I've never heard of any of those.
Those are all, might as well just be saying some French movie.
I think you made all of those movies up. So
Future, it's a Future Back.
Future Back doesn't even sound true.
I'm bringing Future back.
Forrest Gump. What's a Gump and why is it in a forest? That doesn't make any sense.
Also, don't forget Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Oh my god, that's a great movie. Actually,
great movie.
I love that movie.
I love that movie so much.
2 bits.
Contact. Yeah, Contact is great though, and this is a year of directors. Some of our favorite directors releasing their more underrated work, I think, which will eventually, like Spielberg with Lost World. I feel that's a little underrated.
I think so too. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of. I think we talked about. Well, we haven't talked about Donnie Brasco yet. Hey, we haven't mentioned anybody else, but we'll get there. I'll bring up the other directors as we talk about those titles. But yeah certainly. Anyway, that's my number 7. So, JD,
I think
hit me with your 7, brah.
I think we're gonna end up pushing it, but I'll ask you one question. So, you want to know more about my number 7?
Yeah, push that hard.
Would you like to know more?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So we're pushing
push
it.
that. Yeah, let's push that.
We're pushing Star Trek first. Star Trek first.
Oh, okay. I was like, where the fuck are you going with this?
Yeah. Would you like to know more?
I
forgot.
immediately.
How did I forget about that
That's
shit?
everywhere.
on the poster.
Yeah. I love that gag.
Oh, we'll get there so hard.
We'll get there.
That's obnoxiously high for me. So
Obnoxiously high.
Awesome. So,
I don't think it'll be obnoxious, though, to be honest. All right, so go Kyle. Kyle is your number 6 right now.
yeah, we pushed it earlier. It's a good old Donnie Brasco.
okay.
Yeah. Man.
Hey,
what
forget about it.
Dude, can I just say something? If you like gangster movies, or like just movies about crime and undercover, like 21 Jump Street type stuff or whatever, just anything from that era, and you haven't seen this movie, you're missing one of the greats. This is one of the greats. Like, absolutely. Like, not saying it's as good as like Goodfellas or anything like that, but like, I mean, it's one that you shouldn't fucking miss.
Absolutely.
I really like this movie, man, and it's a movie I saw real late. I obviously didn't see this growing up or anything like this. I saw this in my 20s sometime, and just recently revisited it. Maybe like the first year that I moved out here to Colorado. Mm-hmm. So the last couple of years I've seen it.
Holds up out the ass, right?
Holds up big time, man.
Yeah.
The only thing that dates it is the camera that they're using. Like,
right.
it holds up, man. Everything about it. Cool story too. Just
true story.
True story.
More
yeah.
or less.
Just it's a good old flick, man. Everyone's acting their ass off too in this movie.
Oh my god, big time,
yeah,
dude.
Some of the better performances you're gonna see out of a lot of movies this year, filled with amazing performances, memorable, like iconic performances. So yeah, I really enjoyed that movie quite a bit.
This is one of the better subdued Johnny Depp performances ever. Like he's
totally
just Johnny Depp in it.
He's not playing a character or himself. I mean, he is playing a character. I'm saying he's not playing like a cartoon. I guess I should say.
Yeah, right. Because that's what his thing is now. Like,
yeah.
How much weird shit can I put on my face, and how extravagant?
And what kind of weird hat can I be wearing this movie?
Yes.
Always wearing a fucking hat or a scarf or some weird shit. Like, God, get out of here with the accessories, bud.
And this is probably later Pacino's some of his best work. I can't remember being in awe of him since this movie, honestly, because he makes piss poor Jack and Jill decisions.
Yeah.
Dunkin' Donuts or whatever. I'm pretty sure that's in the movie. I remember hearing somebody say that. But Donnie Brasco is so fucking good, dude. Like, I was hooked by just the dialogue, and there's a lot of talking in it, but it's like wise guy talking, so you're hooked because they're just doing a lot of fuck yourself or forget about it stuff. That's where the forget about it kind of kind of grew from is this movie.
They say it a lot in this movie. Yeah, forget about it.
Oh man, they totally do. And it's one of those types of gangster stories where at the end of it you're kind of feeling for the bad guy that you've spent the entire movie with. Mm-hmm. That Johnny Depp has no choice but to rat out, because that's his job. And he's confronting his wife about it, and he's like, I am them basically, and he's not wrong. I mean, if you look at the guy, he kind of fits in with the rest of them.
Yeah, right.
So he's kind of just, where's my place in life? It's pretty much with them. He has to unfortunately make the call because it's his job. It's kind of. I love those stories of getting lost in the in those undercover stories where they get lost in the shuffle and stuff like that, and they're just way too deep.
It's by no means a story you've never heard before. But I'm not saying it's like by the numbers in a boring way either. It's the best version of this mold, it is, yeah. It's awesome. It's a great fucking flick, and man, if you could take anything away, it holds the fuck up.
Tension is high at the end too when they're in the car, and he's like, "This boat was seized by," Al Pacino's like pointing out that this boat was seized by the FBI, and you're telling me to buy it? You think I'm a schmuck, and he's got like just a gun out, and they're being casual with a gun out, and Johnny Depp's trying to not show that he's fearing for his life right now, but at the same time, I don't know, man. It's just a great like acting in that, because it's clear that Pacino's threatening, but Johnny Depp's trying to play it cool, like, no, man, I wouldn't know that. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Oh man, there's so much good acting in this fucking movie. It's ridiculous. Anyway, people go see that movie, man.
Yeah,
I know it's kind of on the long. It's 2 hours plus, but it's good. It's worth it. Absolutely.
I got it ready to go for later. That
was my 8 and Kyle's Six? Cool. Six? Cool. So my number 6, this movie I love to watch. Like, it's seriously I love to watch. And don't get me wrong, there's probably not much that's groundbreaking about it. There could be, actually. You could argue that. But it's called As Good As It Gets. Little movie. Yeah. Starring some indie actors known by...
Is that your number 6?
Yeah.
That's my number 6.
Oh, wow. What the fuck? Synchronized.
Wow. We all synchronized. Look at that.
Fucking awesome. Probably the only time that'll happen the rest of the show. So...
Definitely.
I love this. I love the shit out of this movie. Like, I love, like, when I rewatched it, I was like, it's another 2-hour plus movie. A lot of these are, actually, surprisingly. But yeah, like, it didn't feel, like, long at any point. Like, I just wanted it to never end, pretty much. And then when it ends, you're like, oh, shit, I wanted more. Like, like, I want to see how their lives play out, because, you know, Jack Nicholson's this curmudgeon asshole to everybody in his life. And he kind of only makes tiny compromises to make his... quote-unquote relationship, if you want to call it that, with Helen Hunt work, you know, because nothing about that is conventional at all.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's the little things, like he just walks. He's OCD, so he walks. He can't step on cracks when he's walking on the sidewalk. So the end of the movie is him, you know, walking on cracks like he's forgetting about it and forgetting about it. So I mean, it's like little things. You see a little character change, and he's just less of a dick to people, a little bit less of a dick to people. But that's all you. That's all you really need to get the point across, you know? It's not like he's suddenly some saint or whatever. There's some great, like, Gran Torino-esque humor in here where it's just wrong, but you laugh at it. That's kind of like the best humor, the uncomfortable laughs. Like, he's calling Greg Kinnear's character who's gay, he's calling him gay slurs, like, all the fucking time. And it's wrong, and it's hilarious. It's so wrong. It's just a great little, kind of a slice of life, unconventional romantic comedy. I think, who did this? The guy who does The Simpsons did this movie? What's his name? As Good As It Gets. It's like not Mel Brooks. James L. Brooks. Yeah, he directed this movie. He, previously did Terms of Endearment and Broadcast News, movies I haven't really seen, all that much. And then he did bullshit after that. Anyway, but this was a great movie. Go see this movie. Cuba Gooding Jr. is good in this too, as the guy who kind of tries to wise up Jack Nicholson, and doesn't give a shit. Like, Nicholson's an asshole. I cannot stress enough how entertaining it is to watch him be an asshole, because he is the worst asshole he's been on film. But outside of The Shining, I guess, because he's actually killing people and shit. But
that's true.
He's pretty mean in that movie.
He's pretty mean. He's a little mean. But yeah, Cuba Gooding Jr. like just sees right through that shit and just tells him like it is, and he's just not used to anybody talking to him like that. And I really enjoyed watching their interplay. It's really fun to watch. JD, it's your number 6 though.
Yeah,
right?
And this was the one that made it in place of Donnie Brasco, because I couldn't have 2 movies that I haven't seen in such a long time on my list. And I chose this one because, I mean, I think the individual performances of him and Helen Hunt, I mean, they both won that year for Best Actor and Actress, respectively, for this movie.
Holy shit. I do not remember her winning.
Oh, yeah. I believe so.
Holy shit, they did win. Holy fuck.
It was a double win, man. So
wow.
That kind of tipped the scales for me. And
they earned it, man. They did. They earned the shit out of it.
It's going to be what I watch tomorrow after Donnie Brasco, because I don't remember a whole lot about like the specifics of the dialogue and the. I mean, all I remember is he is a dick and it's funny.
It is. That's the appeal. I'm going to be honest. So, Hans Zimmer did the score too, and this is one of his more playful type of rom-com scores, where like you're like, he did this one, and you'll get it in your head too, because it's just one of those simple piano riffs, and you're just kind of like, oh yeah, that's Hans Zimmer did that. He set the trend for all rom-com scores going forward, basically, in this era, because they all sound like this. It's really great. I can't wait for you to rewatch it. You will not regret it.
Tomorrow, or maybe later tonight. I don't know. We'll see.
Tomorrow. Getting that for show.
Getting that for show. Hey, don't.
Hey, don't. So we're up to number 5 now with Kyle. Kai.
I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. It's Chasing Amy.
Oh yeah, we're pushing.
Okay, cool. Good. I was hoping we were gonna push that. Okay, good.
So, my number 5. God damn it, I gotta talk again. My number 5 is L.A. Confidential.
Not now.
Push that. Yeah, you're pushing that. Pushing that real hard.
We're literally just gonna push the next.
We're just gonna push everything.
JD, what's your number 5?
Fucking Gattaca. I already know it.
What is going on?
Yeah, we're pushing
We
it.
just pushed an entire round. That's never happened.
Yes, it's a first. That is a first.
full
Salt and
cycle
Pepper
push,
took over
yeah.
that round. Yeah.
It's great.
All right, so we're back to Kyle with his number 5.
Number
Oh,
4.
Sorry.
I'm ready to know more now. It's Starship Troopers.
Oh,
nice.
yes. Awesome. Let's do this.
All right, cool. We can talk about it. Great.
Yeah.
Man.
No, it's my number 1.
You're like, fucking, but it was my number 1 for the longest time until I was like, okay, I got to snap out of it here.
Dude, it was so much better than I remembered it being.
Yeah,
So much better.
This movie holds up better than it has any right to.
The only
Absolutely.
good bugs are dead bugs.
bug.
It's ridiculous. I love every ounce of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
So many good faces, too. Familiar faces that have gone on to
the Casper
pretty
Van
damn
Dien
good
didn't do
careers.
anything. He didn't go on to do really anything. Omega Man, I think, was what he did.
He did Mega Man?
Yeah, he didn't do shit.
Anyways, I really like this movie, like, a lot. I think the action is really good. I like the scene where they're on Clendathu, which that's why I don't know math. I still know, like, all the planet names in this movie. They're on the planet, and they're on the like the base or whatever, and like they're being swarmed by like the sea of fucking bugs or whatever, and they're crawling on top of like the dead bugs. It's just a fucking awesome scene. Man, I like how dude, the CG holds up really well. Like,
Yeah.
It does, and it should not at all.
Like
No.
Star Wars looks worse than this movie.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah,
Right? Because
But they really-
it should be shit.
I mean, they only had like 3 different CGI models, though. So they can do it. Just make 3 good ones and replicate that shit all throughout the world.
Fucking true. You're right about that. Yeah, I fucking love this movie, dude. It's just
me too.
What a good time you're gonna have. Rico's Roughnecks. You know, just quotable. What's his face? Ironsides in this movie, just being a badass one arm.
Yeah,
you know, like
yeah,
fucking sergeant,
I liked him.
You know.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I want him to be my mentor.
Yeah.
It's great. Shit.
I enjoyed this movie, the recent watch. Like, I remember watching it before, I don't know, probably again when I worked at Blockbuster, and liking it fine. You know, I was kind of like, okay, it was good. It was very enjoyable. But yeah, watching it this time, you appreciate all of its, this isn't a term, but tongue-in-cheekiness.
Yeah.
Because the entire thing is in tongue-in-cheek, man. It's fucking great.
Yeah.
And all about the military complex.
It's a total, like, I mean, the book is an anti-military satire, you know. It's like how stupid it is to just like march to war, and it's just it's a very interesting book. The movie is not that deep, you know. It's not as deep as that, but it is poking fun at it as much as it can, which is, you know, it's enough.
Like, there's some real comedy for sure when Neil Patrick Harris touches a bug and goes, "It's afraid," and everybody cheers. That's so ridiculous.
And everyone cheers, throws their like helmets in the air. Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah,
I picture Barney Stinson doing that sarcastically.
Yes, yes.
Like, it's just so funny.
Yeah, totally.
It totally works, though. It fits the entire tone of that movie. That's a good movie, man.
Oh, and all this stuff in the training. Sir, why do I need to learn how to throw a knife if we just press a button and blow up our enemy? And the guy like takes a knife and like, put your hand on that wall, and like puts a knife to his hand. He's like, your enemy cannot press a button if you render his hand helpless. You know, it's just like stupid. Fucking like over the top, like drill sergeant, like
right,
you know,
unrealistic. Yeah,
exactly. Go beat that guy around the block as he runs. You know, he's just like whipping that guy with that like metal rod. You know, as he's running his laps. You know, it's fucking crazy. Good movie. I just have a lot of fun with it. It's a movie that you can still watch to this day, as it sounds like y'all both have, and just fucking like lose yourself in like the insanity of that movie.
That's a
so
good
much
one.
fun.
I'm so happy it's going to make our bracket. It's an honorable mention for me again. Damn, I'm glad we got so many honorable mentions that were my honorable mentions in here.
Yeah.
Oh, so I'm next. Shit. Did you have more to say on it, JD? Because it was pushed from you.
It was a push for me, and I've seen this movie twice total. I watched it once when it first came out, and I definitely didn't appreciate any of that. Like, I just watched it as just a good bad movie, and that's how it was sold to me. It's a good bad movie. Didn't appreciate at all what that term meant back then. But dude, this was a good rewatch. I followed another movie we might talk about later because we pushed it, Gattaca. Yeah, good palate cleanser to Gattaca's heaviness for sure.
Oh, interesting. I didn't realize that you. That's right. You did watch those in
Yeah.
right next to each other.
Yeah.
This is a good night. This is a good night.
Because
bro.
Gattaca is dark. It's my number 4, so we can just jump right in. Gattaca is dark. It's kind of dark. You know what I mean? Like, but at the same time, I mean, there's more to it than its darkness. It's not all about how fucking depressing everything is. You know. In fact, the entire thing is about this perfect world where people can genetically procreate, basically. Like, they can decide what type of genes they want their child to have.
Right.
Where this movie picks up, it doesn't really pick up with explaining all that, though. That's the genius of this fucking movie. It's so good. Okay, so it picks up with, like, Ethan Hawke already pretending to be somebody else who is perfectly created and biologically created.
Right.
Or bioengineered, or whatever I should say, to creation. He's already playing, like, this Jude Law character, pretending to be him. And then it finally explains, okay, here's what's going on in this world. You can procreate in a lab if you want to, using your genes along with other genes, like, oh, we want him to be tall, beautiful, a good swimmer, all this shit. Because otherwise, when you're born and you have a natural birth, which is still allowed, it's not forbidden.
Right.
As soon as you're born, they tell you when you're gonna die, what you're gonna die of, all this shit, all this fucking bullshit. Which is, I mean, it's accurate, but it's just all your weaknesses are just put on display when you're born.
Right.
And they don't allow, like, genetic, I think they call it genetic discrimination, is that right? Or
yes.
something like that. That's like a law. Like, you can't discriminate people based on the fact that they were born the natural way. But they do it all the time. People disregard the laws. That's what they do. I mean, this is totally like...
Wait, we don't do that. Like, we don't do that in our world. Why would they do that in that world?
No, never. Not ever.
We never do. We're all perfect human beings. So it's just like an incredibly realistic take on this. And honestly, like, looking at it visually, they didn't go so far out of our time that it just feels foreign. You know, you're not watching it going, I can't latch on to any of this because, they're flying around fucking spaceships and stuff. There's none of that. You know, people are just dressed nicer. Everything looks cleaner. Obviously, there's some futuristic technology because they can, create human beings out of nothing, I guess. So, yeah, it's just really cool concept. And the way that it's filmed, I think the guy who fucking did this movie? I think he was like a one-hit wonder, to be honest. It was the guy who did In Time with Justin Timberlake, which is a great premise, but it's not a greatly executed movie. He did that. Yeah, he did Simone. I don't fucking remember that. Lord of War was pretty good. I'll give him that one.
I enjoyed that movie.
Yeah, it's a fun movie.
But he did In Time after that. Good Kill's a good one. Shit, I forgot about that. Ethan Hawke plays a drone operator. That's a good movie.
In Time actually takes away everything he's ever done, so... Any good that he's done is stripped away because he did In Time, so sorry.
That movie's concept is so fucking good, and man, that was upsetting. That was just upsetting. Ugh, whatever. It's fine, whatever. But Gattaca is great. I think it could go down as one of the more, if not the most, like, underrated sci-fi movie ever, because it's just, who's talking about this movie besides Raffi shouting?
The League talks about it, and they say this movie's bad.
Yeah.
So
Is he shouting Gattaca? Like, yeah, I mean, that's a good movie, but...
No, I think they say it's not even good. Like, it's not even...
Really?
Yeah.
Fucking guys.
If I remember right, wasn't it... I'd have to go watch the trailers, but in my head, I remembered it being a lot less action-packed than I was expecting it to be.
Gattaca?
Yeah. I mean...
Yeah, there's some of that, I guess.
Yeah, there's a little bit. For some reason, I remember the trailers hyping up a little more of the action, and it's not that. It's definitely more cerebral.
Oh, yeah, no, it's more of a drama-filled sci-fi thinker.
I loved it, man.
It's cerebral. I like that.
I've read the book that it's based off of, Brave New World, and it's... man, that's some good shit in that book.
Yeah.
For a book written in like the 20s or 30s, I guess, basically depicting the same future, they just stripped away some of the more random elements to that world. Like, they worshipped Henry Ford in the book because he created the assembly line, and they're mass producing people at a massive rate. It's not about the genetic control so much as it is about you're made to fit into this role, and then this person's made to fit into this role. So it's like a caste system type thing. Yeah.
Damn, dude. I gotta read that fucking book. That sounds awesome.
It's good. It's written by Aldous Huxley. You should check it out.
No, I don't like that name, so I'm not gonna read it anymore.
It's a cool name, man. What are you talking about?
They make fun of it in Garden
kidding.
State. You guys know Garden State? You know that movie?
Never heard of it.
Never heard of it?
Dumb movie.
Yeah. when
Lame.
they're like shooting flaming arrows in the backyard, he's like, yeah, it's like that book Brave New World. It's written by Aldous Huxtable. Huxtable. That's what the guy says. Yeah.
Huxtable.
Great random quote you just shared.
Boom.
Kyle, this Gattaca's right up your alley for sure.
It sounds
Have
like
you never
I'd hate it.
You never
It's a
seen
good,
it?
It's a good, smart sci-fi movie. It sounds like I'd hate it.
Terrible.
Yeah.
I need more pew pew and stuff.
Yeah, I
in my
need
sci-fi.
I need way less cerebralness and way more like, we're pretty Valyrian is what I'm talking about.
Right? Oh yeah.
We're just really pretty.
We're in love with each other just because we're opposite sex,
Yeah,
or whatever
right.
that fucking
Why have
story
we
was.
ever talked about us?
Is it that bad?
That is how Dane DeHaan talks.
Dude, talks like a surfer guy. What are you talking about? What's her name? I forget her name in the movie.
Skirpender. Nobody pronounces it right.
Yeah, what are you talking
differently.
about? God, I fucking what an ear. That movie. I find myself defending it all the time. Not those two actors, like in that movie.
Yeah, that's the problem for sure. So Kyle, time to steer it back to the city of love, I guess.
How'd you
instead
know?
of the city of hate. What's your number 3?
How did you know? The city of love. How'd you know? It's LA Confidential. I'm not even kidding.
Really?
Yeah.
What's your number 3?
That's my number 3. Yeah.
Awesome. Are we pushing or is it on your list, JD?
It's my number. Wait,
Oh, did
what's
I
this?
skip?
we're on number 4, right?
Oh yeah, we're on number 4. I'm sorry, Kyle.
Yeah.
What's your number 4? Wait, no, wait. It's
No, I did
Starship
Starship
Troopers.
Troopers. I did number 4.
So JD, what's your number 4?
Okay, so my number 4 is LA Confidential. So do I
I'm
have
sorry,
to
I
push
thought we
You
synchronized.
push it. It's my number 3. We talk about it now.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Like push.
Okay.
The shortest.
Shortest push ever. You gotta measure of pushing it. Not even.
That was genius. Okay, that's great. You talk about it. It's pushed, and now we talk. Okay, cool. Let's talk about it. It was like our show on cocaine for a second.
It's great.
Okay. All right. Man, this movie is really fucking great. This is another movie that when I worked at a GameStop, it was a GameStop and Movies 2 store, which means it was it was a hybrid store which had as many DVDs as they did the games, pretty much. It was awesome. I got my time to work like in a DVD store or whatever, which was like the dream. I always walked by this and like everybody had seen this movie, and I always saw this movie like on the shelf or whatever, and I was just like, oh, this, I know these people in this movie, and they're like, man, you just gotta take it home and watch it, and I did, and it was fucking amazing. Just an acting powerhouse, so many fucking familiar faces in this movie. And
Oh my god!
Oh, yeah. Everywhere.
In a time period,
Young Russell Crowe.
Oh my god! Right? In a time period that is just ripe for the picking. I mean, like, what a cool, like, just a fucking awesome, like, crime noir. Like, when does this movie take place? Like
It's in the. It's like late 50s, early 60s, right?
60s, yeah, 50s, 60s, something like that. It's
53. Yeah.
53. Okay, after the war. It's post World War II.
Yes.
But yeah, it's just fucking good, man. What a just cool little crime caper or a little whodunit. Like what they're trying to get a cop to like testify against cops that maybe like take.
Yeah, that's the beginning. That's kind of a chain of events. Like in the beginning, there's a police brutality against a bunch of prisoners on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
And Guy Pearce being he's kind of like straight edge cop who follows the very, very strict,
His father was like
whatever.
exemplary, like detective or whatever.
Yeah, so he's trying to live up to that, but also being political about it. So he testified against a few of the people that committed all the violence, and Russell Crowe's partner got fired, hence all the tension between them.
Right.
But yeah, I think Kevin Spacey also helped testify, but it was like, it all fell on Guy Pearce because he kind of set it in motion.
Right.
Yeah. That's the start of it, and then the rest of it is about a drug dealer that they locked up, and basically, what's his name? The guy from Babe.
Yeah. Everyone knows. I don't know.
Cromwell?
Cromwell? Yeah, he's Laddie, calling everybody Laddie, and he's Irish and shit in this movie. But he's like, trying to take out all the potential competition that could replace the big cartel that was rising up in L.A., whereas people don't realize that he's actually like replacing the competition. He's like getting rid of them so he doesn't have competition himself.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is, God, it sounds convoluted the first time you watch it a little bit.
It's kind of hard to keep up with.
Yeah.
The very first time I watched it, I remember really enjoying it, but not really understanding the entire complexities of the entire case because they just keep on. I mean, it's breadcrumbs. They keep on going kind of from one thing to another, but it's all followable on a second viewing for me. Like whenever I watched it more recently, I was like, oh, well, maybe I'm a little smarter too. Maybe not drinking as much these days.
I would definitely be too dumb to watch this back then. I watched it for the first time a few months ago, then rewatched it recently. Yeah, man, I love the whole Rollo Tomasi thing. Mm-hmm. Like, this is based on a book, a very short book, I think, by the same name, and it's Rollo Tomasi's not in there. Like, that's not a plot point at all. Mm-hmm. So, like, the fact that they added it as a backstory for Eggsley's father's death, like, I just gave, the perpetrator, like, I gave the unknown perp the name Rollo Tomasi because he's, that's a moniker for the guy that gets away.
Right.
And then Kevin Spacey realizing that would trigger Guy Pearce's, like, it would trigger, like, his brain would, like, start firing, like, oh shit, there's a conspiracy going on. Right. So Kevin Spacey makes that his last words when he gets shot. Spoiler alert. He's like, he doesn't utter like, you fucker or anything like that. He says Rollo Tomasi, and that gets the chief to ask Exley, hey, do you know anybody by the name Rollo Tomasi? And he gotta like play it chill, like, how the fuck does he know that? I only told Kevin Spacey that story. How the fuck does he know that? But he's trying to play it cool. He's like, no, I don't know anything about that. BRB, I'm gonna go find Bud White.
And it's one of those like hold the students after class type moments where he's like, hey, kid, come here. By the way,
it is. Yeah, he tries to get him in private and sneak up on him. God damn it, it's so good. And there's this thing early on that the captain, chief, whatever, tells Guy Pearce in the beginning. He's like, sometimes you're gonna have to shoot the bad guys in the back for the greater good. And then Exley ends up doing it at the end of the fucking movie.
That's true.
It's such a great arc, like what he becomes and how the camaraderie between him and Bud White, the guy who just beats the shit out of woman abusers.
Yeah,
such a great movie, dude.
Yeah,
there's so much to look at and jerk it to. It's
complexities in the characters and the story.
Yeah,
and just
lots of that.
It's just it's awesome.
This whole thing was a fucking gamble though, because they were riding on Kevin Spacey from Seven for the entire like marketing. He's at the front, even though Kim Basinger's on the front of the poster,
right.
But
she is. Yeah.
Kevin Spacey's like right behind her because nobody knew who Guy Pearce or Russell Crowe were. Like. This is
like pre-Gladiator,
fucking Australian
right?
people? Like, are you serious? Because these are like new guys by this point in '97. So this is like their big break. Great choice. Great choices, man.
Absolutely.
Very, very good choice.
It's so. Oh, I love that scene where they go to Kevin Spacey and Guy Pearce goes into a bar and he calls.
I was just gonna say this.
Were you the bar where it's like he's calling that actress a hooker?
A hooker.
Oh, you're just a lookalike.
And then they're like,
lookalike of.
No, that's actually her.
That's actually her. Throws a drink, and he like lets it go. Kevin Spacey lets it go on because he's soaking in the. He's like, oh man, I can't wait to tell this fucking guy.
Yeah,
that's actually her. Throws the drink in his face.
The boyfriend's
that's
getting
LA,
all pissed off. Yeah.
Yeah. You're gonna. I mean, that's LA. You're gonna run into real stars, and this is about very real corruption that permeated the LA police department at that time. They were just doing devious shit. I mean, this is kind of about a real scandal. Like the Hush Hush magazine that Danny DeVito was a part of was kind of a real thing. Like, it was called Confidential. So, I mean, obviously, it's not all 100% cleaned up by now. Right. I don't think. But it's still, I don't know, it was worse. Let's just say it was worse. And it's a fucking great movie, man.
I did like
go see it.
I did like the hush hush line as he was killing Danny DeVito. That was good.
That was great.
I see what you did there. I see
hush,
it.
Hush laddie. Sorry.
It's got to be Irish. It's not Babe.
I don't know why he's Irish in this. He's not Irish in Babe. He's Irish in this.
Is he?
Did you not notice that?
No.
Because it's come and go.
No.
It's like laddie and stuff like that, and you're like, is he fucking trying to be Irish in this? What's going on?
Man, maybe I had the volume down a little too low to not get the subtlety of it, but no, I didn't pick up on any Irish accent at all.
That's crazy.
It's weird.
I also like the scene where they're beating up the fucking Bud White. I just love that character. He just beats the shit out of people. That's what he does. It's great.
Oh, yeah.
And they go to beat up the attorney or whatever.
Oh,
and
yeah.
He literally just like, oh, you're going to play bad cop, good cop. And he literally just slams his face into a mirror and threatens to throw him out the window. It's so fucking good. Good movie. When was the last time you saw it, Kyle? It was recently, right? Or,
Pretty recently. It was about a year ago or so.
Okay.
We were talking about it during our 1996 episode or something. I got brought up, and I was just like, I own that movie. Let me just watch it real quick.
Oh, you own it? Awesome.
Oh yeah, DVD.
Great own,
DVD. It's not the greatest own. Go back and watch a DVD, everybody, if you haven't in a while. It's jarring.
It is. It's fucking weird.
That's how I'm getting through
Especially
these
when you
podcasts,
have-
man. Old DVD collection.
Hey man, I got a huge one, so a lot of these movies I do own, like almost all of them that we've been talking about tonight.
Boogie
This
Nights.
director went on to do 8
Double
Mile.
disc.
Huh. What a random one to go on to do. That's weird. 8 Mile, Haley, 8 Mile, Detroit. That's all of his raps, according to some YouTube movie I watched or video. The YouTube movie. I don't even know who's next anymore. I think I hijacked Kyle's LA Confidential. Sorry.
I mean, no, we were all talking about it. I pushed it, so.
Did you have anything? Anybody else have anything more to add on LA Confidential?
No, man, just a great movie. That was so good to watch as an adult. Finally,
Yeah, it really is.
It had been so long.
My number 3 is probably going to be a push. It's Jackie Brown.
Yeah, we're pushing the shit out of that shit.
Cool.
We're pushing it real good.
That was... It came in on Push It real good. That's perfect.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So, JD, what's your number 3?
My number 3 is Chasing Amy.
All right, might as well push that one, too.
Wow.
Kyle, what's your number 2?
My number 2?
Uh-huh.
Boogie Nights?
God damn it, we're pushing it, too.
What?
Sinks is on that one. Oh,
we
double
synced?
push. Yeah.
Oh, you pushed it! Oh, okay. You synchronized. Nice.
Oh, man.
One last synchronization. Chasing Amy's my number 2.
Okay.
Actually, no, just kidding. Right? Chasing Amy and Boogie Nights are tied. No, we just pushed it from you, I think, JD.
Oh.
Chasing Amy is an incredible... It's more of a personal movie for me. Like, I just remember being that guy that Ben Affleck's playing in the movie, where you think you're growing as a person, but you're really just making the same dumbass mistakes by the end of the movie. And then so you need time alone to reflect on it, and then of course you see at the end that he does. But still, like that moment where he pulls the I don't remember the characters' names at all. Sorry, Joy Lauren Adams and Jason Lee. Whatever, fuck it.
Allison
pulls them
and
together.
Benke.
Thank you. Whatever. Pulls them together and he's like, "Hey, let's have a threesome or whatever." He thinks he's grown as a character.
Right. And he thinks
I've had moments like that where I'm like, "Trust me, guys, I'm doing the right thing," and then like you have to be reminded that you're still a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
You know, it's just such a great moment. That's like one of my favorite scenes. The entire thing, though, I'm glued to that screen. My ears are perked up. The dialogue is so fucking good.
It makes me
It's
really
so good.
mad when people are like, "Oh man, Kevin Smith is just not a very good director." I'm like, "Oh, have you seen
What?
Chasing Amy?" I'm like, "Oh, have you seen Chasing Amy?" And they're like, "No." And I'm like, "Okay, then you have no idea what the fuck you're talking about."
Right.
Yeah. I think this is probably his best movie in terms of just like, like the best dialogue. It feels real.
Yeah.
It's organic. It's probably
Right.
something he lived or someone he knew lived. You know, it seemed like a very personal story and stuff like that. Almost like you couldn't make it up. Like it had to have been real in some way, you know? I just really like this movie a lot, man. And, talk about, like, one of his more serious... Like, there's not, like, a fart joke in this movie. Even though Jay and Silent Bob show up, you know, it's not, like, this crude, movie. Very rated R. It's not, like, shies away
Yeah, they
from
say
its
some crude
maturity,
shit, but it's
not
funny. But
it's not like Mallrats or Clerks even or anything like that. It's a very, very, very smart movie that's really about something, you know.
But it still fits in that other universe. You get to go to the Quick Stop. You get a scene at the Quick Stop. And you get Silent Bob's easily his best...
Dude, he goes on a rant, man. He goes
his
on a
best
monologue.
diatribe. Yeah.
The movie, like, no one in the movie is called Amy. Like, his
it's
story
about his
is...
story.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Awesome stuff.
Exactly.
Man.
I love that story too, because that's literally, I'm going to get incredibly personal. That's pretty much my life,
Yeah.
you know, where you're trying to chase the thing that you had that was probably the best it got for you.
Yeah.
That story is just, God damn it, it's so good.
It's close.
And that's probably true for Holden too. He's going to go off and do his own thing. I think he reprises his character's role, or at least Jason Lee does
Jane
in
Silent Bob Strike
Dogma.
Back.
Okay, it's
Yeah.
that one. Okay.
When they go back after they go to the not Booyah Burger, the burger place, before they go on their mission, they go to Holden McNeil to try to get that check Then he's like, you guys need to go to Hollywood. And they're like, why the fuck do we need to go to Hollywood?
Because Miramax owns it, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
By the way, Alyssa, watching this movie, I hadn't seen it for like first time until like a year ago. So this is new love, guys. I'm going to be totally honest. But yeah, Alyssa, totally like, yeah, I mean, yeah, totally want to date her. Let's
right.
Yeah,
right.
she's a cool chick, man.
What a fun chick, yeah.
And she just says, God, she's so reminiscent of an ex of mine. I swear to fucking God. It's crazy. She just says her piece, like, unfiltered completely, you know?
Yeah.
Like when they're arguing, or he's trying to kind of bait her into admitting her past in front of everybody at the hockey match.
Dick move, by the way.
Game, whatever. I've totally done that. I've been that guy, though. That's the thing. That's the shitty part. I've been that guy.
Yeah.
And when she's like, I fucked him, all right? What do you want me to say? You know what I mean? Like, it's the entire thing. Like,
everybody in
the
the
argument after
turns to him and is paying attention.
This movie pierces my heart, dude. It's fucking so good.
Yeah, man.
Rewatchable as fuck, too. I'm already ready to watch it again. It's that good. And I love the I don't know, I can't remember that character's name either, but there's the black character who plays, he's like a gay guy, but like pretends to be this black power guy who's like kill Whitey and stuff, and it's god damn it, that shit's hilarious, especially during the con.
I like it when Affleck walks up, he's like, no, that's the devil right there. He's talking to the boy on stage.
Yeah, he's talking to the boy.
Oh my god.
Oh man. It's so good. God damn it. Anyway, that's my number 2. So who are we moving on to? JD's number 2?
My number 2 is Boogie Nights.
Yeah, we push. Push that.
All right, let's push it and get to Kyle's number 1.
We pushing? We're pushing.
All
right.
Kyle's number 1.
Man,
nice.
This scares me that it didn't even get brought up at all. It's Fifth Element.
Oh boy,
Fifth Element for me, man. Not a single peep from anybody.
It's a strong on man for me.
I don't want to hear it. You're strong on man. I don't want to hear it. No, fuck. There's a 10 movie space in between whatever we're talking about. Right now.
Look, I put a movie with the appropriate amount of Chris Tucker at my number 1. The appropriate amount of Chris Tucker.
Are we crystal clear? Are we super green? That's what they say, super green. God, I love this movie, which is why I think, like, man, I wanted, like, Valerian to be this so bad, and that's, like, that's my fault, you know, for coming in there going, oh, this is going to be a really smart, like, we're going to be talking about this movie forever. We're not. You know, and but we are with Fifth Element. Like, that, like, is a movie that a lot of, like, new sci-fi, like, aspires to be, you know, like, Jupiter Ascending tried, like, kind of, like, their, like, not that these are, like, similar at all, but these, like, really high-concept ideas that are, like, barely based on anything. Like, they're almost new IPs, you know what I mean? Like, these ideas that are just, this came out of someone's head, not from a comic book or anything like that. How do you build a whole world like that? And there's a lot of world building. There's a lot of beautiful, like, cool set design and weapons, and fucking Gary Oldman plays an awesome bad guy. You know, I fucking love this movie. It's just... What a cool, like, sci-fi romp, you know? And again, just not attached to anything else, so it was just, like, you know, a good filler for Star Wars while they were getting their shit together to bring out the prequels.
Right. Or their shit separated. However you want to look at the prequels.
Right. Yeah.
I'm legit holding on to my, and it's still in the winter bag, my legit Leeloo Dallas multi-pass right now. I'm holding on to it. Multi-pass.
I have a Corbin Dallas one, yeah.
Nice.
I did it for whatchamacallit? I did it for a costume. My girlfriend at the time was Leeloo, and I did Corbin Dallas. And it was
that's awesome, dude.
Nice.
Yeah, I love the set design, the costume, the CG. I love some of the characters. Gary Oldman's great.
Yeah, he is, yeah.
I mean, he is just eating that shit up. Something about Luc Besson just gets that shit out of him, like with this and the everyone take in Leon. He's just good shit, man, and he better win an Oscar before, you know, one of us dies. I don't know.
Has he never won one? He's never won one?
I don't think so. He's been nominated like once for Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, and everybody at that time was like, "Why is he just now getting nominated? This is fucking crazy." He's like that one guy that just never got an Oscar, even though he's one of the best, most reliable talents out there right now.
Totally.
That's a good movie, dude. It's in my honorable mentions, and I love that. My dad loves the shit out of that movie.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if he still does, but I remember him loving the shit out of that movie.
It holds up. Like, it's a good rewatch. Like, it's still fun. It's not like, oh, wow.
Highly enjoyable, yeah.
Bruce Willis still cared back then. I think it's because he still had hair, so he still cared.
Still had hair, yeah.
So he still had hair, so his career was still, like, on track for him. He was like...
Yeah, so it's like, hey, how can you tell when Bruce Willis gives a shit about a role? He still had hair.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the moment he, like, shaved it off and never grew hair again, he was like, I'm kind of fucking over all this.
Oh, man. And then my personal introduction to Chris Tucker, there was no way I was watching Friday at this age. So
I still haven't
I didn't watch that until years later.
I've seen like the parts of the edited version on Comedy Central.
Oh, that's tough to watch too, because it's like the best parts are taken out.
Yeah,
it fucking sucks.
What's the one with Charlie Sheen? Is it Money Talks or Mo Money? I can't remember. I think it's Money Talks.
Money Talks.
That was my introduction to Chris
I saw
Tucker.
that in theaters.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I was sold on Chris Tucker from this and Rush Hour.
Oh, Rush Hour for sure.
Yeah, right.
And
Lee!
Don't touch my radio!
Which one do you get?
It's great though. Rush Hour is awesome, and the second one, I still love the second one.
I like the second one.
It's
I hate
funny.
the third one. Third one's
yeah,
like
the
an
third
hour
one
and
sucks.
20
There's like
minutes
no
long.
humor in it.
Yeah, that movie's not good.
God, it's such a bummer. Still love Jackie Chan though. Can't wait to see him kick some ass in The Foreigner.
Oh,
that's
yeah,
for sure.
yeah. It's gonna be good.
That movie looks ridiculous. I love it. Anyway, what's the name of this movie again? Fifth Element. It's good, man. It's good. I encourage everybody to go rewatch it if it's been a while, because some of these 1997 movies are movies that you're like, oh, you know what? I haven't seen that in a while.
Yeah.
These are all gems that just people kind of forget about. It seems like, to me at least. So that's your number one. Oh shit! It's time for my number one, guys.
Woo!
And nobody can push it. I got my ass on my cock. It's Boogie Nights.
Oh, that's my favorite part of the whole movie. Favorite part of the whole movie.
It's so great because like you researched it, JD. As you were messaging me about it, you're like, did you just say he has? My wife's got her ass on my cock, or
my wife's got
her cock or something like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
ass in her cock. Yeah.
Yeah. And like the director Paul Thomas Anderson, the good Paul Anderson. For reference for everybody.
Thank you. No, I needed that. Thank you. I was going to be like,
how are there two of them?
Like, no, Kyle, we like him. Oh.
How are there two of them and they have polar opposite filmographies in terms of quality? That's crazy to me.
Yeah, and that's why it feels so like shitty whenever you mix them up, because like you're upgrading one of them and you're really downgrading the other. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, dude, I just love everything about this movie on both a technical and storytelling level. I remember making this list, and it was like 6 or whatever, because I hadn't seen it in... it's been a couple of years since I saw it, and then I saw it again recently, and as soon as I finished it, I was like, can I start that over? Is that illegal? Like, I'm really excited to watch this movie again already. I remember the first time I watched it, I kind of had that Paul Thomas Anderson... I don't know. I might have been worn out by his run times or whatever, because his movies run a little long.
Yeah.
And then this time I watched it, I was just like, I didn't feel a wasted moment in this single wasted moment in this movie to me. Mark Wahlberg taking risks as an actor. I'm probably never going to see that shit again.
Yeah.
You expect him to wear a prosthetic penis and make out with a dude for like a split second? It's not going to happen again his entire career.
Yeah.
Because he was trying to be like shed that Marky Markness. And this was the movie to do that in.
Yeah.
And he just killed it in this movie, man. And he's like, his character is so unreasonably nice.
Yeah.
The entire movie. It's even when the dude kisses him, he's like, hey man, I mean, I like you, but that's not cool. Yeah, like, he's
go back inside.
He's just so cavalier about everything, even sex. Like, when he's like screwing Julianne Moore, he's like, I can just do it again. You want to do it again? It's crazy. I love that. And Burt Reynolds, how the fuck did Paul Thomas Anderson, who only did Hard 8 before this, which is a pretty good movie.
Yeah.
I do recommend that movie. Came out this year, by the way, 97. How did he fucking get Burt Reynolds? Like, that just blows my mind. And he's just like the perfect type of father figure dude. Like, I'm like, I want that. You know, I want that guy as a mentor.
Yeah.
When Mark Wahlberg is like, when Dirk Diggler, iconic character name, by the way.
It is.
When he's, at the bottom very, very bottom of his career in his life, when he's going back and he's like, apologetic as fuck, and he's just, I'm sorry. You feel that pain and everything, but then when Jack goes up and hugs him, I'm like, oh man, I want that guy as my mentor. That guy is so fucking cool.
Yeah.
And like, it's so good, man. It shows that porn is more, it's about more than just jerk material, which is kind of silly on the face of it as I say it. But I mean, yeah, like even when you have the first sex scene that he does with Julianne Moore, and they're on camera, it feels very personal for them, like in special. And even though they're just like, they realize they're making a film after it, they're like, okay, let's just go again.
Yeah.
It still feels like a very like as intimate to them as it should feel. And of course everybody was free loving and very, free spirit, whatever, at that time in the 70s until, that dude, William H. Macy killed himself.
Oh, yeah.
And everybody kind of split off and started doing cocaine and shit. God damn it, man. There's so much great shit. Philip Seymour Hoffman's great in this. I love seeing him as a dumb character, if that makes sense.
It was that and then his role in Twister where he's a little on the dumb side.
He is, but he's more on like the stoner spec. This one he's like, man, I'm so stupid.
Yeah.
And like he's in his car,
I'm a
like beating himself
idiot.
up. I'm a fucking idiot.
Yeah. And it's heartbreaking,
I love John
but
C.
it's funny at the same time. Yeah.
I love John C. Reilly in this, especially when they go to the studio.
Oh my god, yeah.
You guys want to see my
and
dick?
they're terrible at singing.
That was so good.
That take was great, right?
Yeah, I mean, I can put my dick on the table if you want. I mean, it can just be there.
I love that when they first meet, Dirk and John C. Reilly's character, they first meet, and they're just like, it's like a dick measuring contest, more or less, but verbally.
It's like Step Brothers, but with dicks.
Right, but they're kind of like, hey, I'm gonna say how much I bench and you say it at the same time. You didn't say it. And they're just like trying to one up each other with how strong they are or whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
It's so great. I just love watching all the relationships in this movie. It's so fucking good. Heather Graham, thanks for one of the most memorable boners of my life.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
It's inappropriate, but still.
Good stuff.
Perma spank bank material right there. That was inappropriate.
And then when you tell me she's going to be in the next Austin Powers movie, it's like, oh, here we go.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here it is.
Oh, that adds
As
up.
like a slutty, like 70s hippie girl. Okay.
Exactly.
That's great. All right, I talked too much about this movie. You guys can
God,
say your
you
piece
said
about
everything we could say about it, Jeff. No, I mean, there's not much more I could add that you didn't already cover. It's one of it's one of those movies that has it all. It's got heart. It's got kind of tension. It's got comedy. You're getting everything. It's like a buffet of feelings in this movie. And it's lightly based off of like the Wonderland like situation.
Like the John, what's his name?
The porn star
Hughes?
with John Hughes, I think, the porn star with the giant dick who in a whole Coke scene or whatever, or when they go to pick up Coke, like that's like a real thing that happened to John Hughes or whatever. So there's moments that are like taken, but it's not exactly like a documentary of his life by any stretch of the imagination.
Right.
I like that, and I like that era, and they fucking nailed just like capturing the atmosphere of that era and everything. And you know what? I know it makes me sound weird or whatever. I really like stuff about porn. I think it's a really... and it sounds weird to say out loud, but like, hear me out real quick. Like, it's an interesting industry. You know what I mean? I think it's ripe. It's a ripe for storytelling. Very, very ripe for storytelling. Because it's just filled with just weirdness and just surrealness, and it's not the world we think it is. And it's cool. Like a lot of really interesting stories can come out of that, and shows. There's a lot of really good shows about like making pornos or whatever. One comedy.
John Holmes. Sorry,
John Holmes. Thank you.
Holmes.
There's a Comedy Central show. I forget what it was called. Like way in the early '90s, about like a guy, a failing director who picked up a project that ended up being a porno, and he ended up becoming like the greatest porn director of all time in his very first movie. And so this guy who wanted to be a prolific like porn director or whatever. Just a regular director, a prolific director of like art and stuff like that, ended up getting roped into being the greatest like porn director of all time, and he's just like really happy about it. But it's funny; it's a funny show. Totally forget what it was called, but I don't know. I really like that stuff. So it checked a lot of boxes for me in terms of just like
absolutely
totally
And you have a new show coming out called The Deuce, which is by the guy who did The Wire and stuff like that.
Nice.
Yeah, starring James Franco as twins or something. Yeah. But yeah, it's about the porn industry in that era too, which is Boogie Nights the TV show. That's what it sounds like to me.
Nice.
I'm in. I'll fucking watch that shit. Great, man. It's so good. JD, did you have thoughts on this movie too?
I did. I was just sitting here thinking to myself that it might be one of the greatest coming of age movies of all time.
Christ. Best jizzing of age movies.
Yeah, there you go. You got it. You got the joke. No,
it's not the going of the ladies. It's the coming. I got it.
Yeah,
but coming.
Coming.
Yeah. No, man,
he does crack. Yeah,
it's everything y'all have been saying, dude. This movie's fucking iconic. Like, and literally fucking iconic.
Yeah.
I could watch it.
We should not know the name Dirk Diggler. Like,
no,
I mean, it's a porn name. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah,
but I liked it because, like you were saying, Kyle, like the stories about the industry itself. Like, we don't have access to that world like we do Hollywood, the mainstream movie making world. And I think there's just as much, if not more, appeal to the people in that industry because it's so shrouded in mystery most of the time.
It really is. It's
whereas Hollywood people, like, you're by design, you're meant to feel like you know them. Whereas in this industry, by design, you're meant to feel detached and just focus on what you're seeing on screen. You're not supposed to wonder what Dirk Diggler's doing on Monday morning.
Yeah, I wonder if she tucks her kids in at night. No,
exactly.
I don't want to think about that.
And I love the relationship between Roller Girl and Julianne Moore's character and watching them throughout the movie. And like you said too, Jeff, Burt Reynolds' ultimate father figure. Like, he genuinely cares about all those people.
Mm-hmm. And he's smooth as fuck.
He is smooth as fuck.
I love that about him.
He is smooth as fuck.
By the way, best unintentional comedy because there's a lot of tension in the scene, but is when Dirk Diggler starts losing his shit and he's like, "I know karate, man."
Oh yeah,
and he's just getting all Mark Wahlberg about it. It's It's such a great scene. I'm ready to go now. My dick's ready now. I'm ready to fuck. I know karate.
It's crazy.
Cocaine, man. It's a hell of a drug.
I know. But it's like you laugh at that scene, but you're like, oh no, this is going to come apart. Oh no.
Yeah.
That's such a great movie. Yeah. That leaves us with JD's number one, which I think I'm pretty sure is, I know what it is because it's pushed from earlier.
Yes, it is Jackie Brown. That's my numero uno. Nice. I think it's one of the, I think most people would agree, probably the most underrated Tarantino film.
I mean, I haven't even seen it because all I heard is this is the worst movie that he's ever done.
Okay, seriously, and you know what? I disagree with that statement.
Well, it's not. I'm just regurgitating. What
no, of course. I'm just letting you know. I can get it, and it's a victim of expectations because look at what it followed. It followed Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, it's a hard
and when you get a more subdued story that's not quite as it doesn't have all the action. It's definitely got its moments. I can see why people walked out of the theater and had a foul taste in their mouth, but. Dude, it's got De Niro in one of his most low key roles ever. Like he doesn't say a fucking word until like the last
he barely says anything. If anything, he's telling Bridget Fonda to shut the fuck up the whole
shut
movie.
The fuck up. And then when he finally, I won't spoil it for you, but when he finally is talking to Sam Jackson about what happened with Bridget Fonda's character, he says more words in a 1 minute span than he said the entire fucking movie. And it's great.
See, this is one of Sam Jackson's best, too, even within Tarantino's filmography.
Wow. Yeah.
It's so shocking how good he is in this.
Ordell Beckham Jr. I know that's not his name, but it's it's like Ordell...
Robbie.
Yeah, Ordell Robbie.
Robbie?
Margot Robbie? Got it.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
I love the way that they show the final... Well, not final sequence, but the big sequence from... 3 different perspectives.
Yes, that was really smart.
And man, I love the music. That's what latched onto me this time watching it. The music,
soundtrack's great,
so good. And I also like the little tidbit that Pam Grier sings on one of those songs. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, that's
one of her songs.
I didn't know that. You enlightened me to that. I didn't know that, and I didn't know that Tarantino, like he wrote this for Pam Grier star in, and he was a huge fan of hers. She absolutely nailed it. But like he was already a huge fan of hers and had posters of her shit all over the place in his office when she came to interview, like to do like an audition or whatever you want to call it. It wasn't really an audition because it was for her. So it was like to meet up. And she was like, "You didn't have to put up all these posters." And he's like, "Oh, I actually meant to take them down so you wouldn't think I was a kiss ass."
That's funny. That's really
That's
funny.
good. That's good.
But this was all for her. And apparently it's an adaptation of a novel that's kind of, similar in terms of, like, it's kind of a heist/robbery thing.
Right.
It's so good, though. And, I mean, there might be some mild pacing things in terms of, like, when you think of Tarantino's work, you're like, you didn't need these scenes in here, like, at all, some of them. But, I mean, they build character. Like, it wouldn't have had any... Like, De Niro scenes later in the movie with Bridget Fonda wouldn't have had any real impact to me at all if they didn't include some of their earlier scenes, which felt out of the blue.
Right.
They have great interactions, though. I cannot stress enough how fucking great Sam Jackson is in this movie. He's so funny, dude. Like, he's just... There's just a random part where he's trying to call, I think it's Pam Grier or one of the cops, Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton's in this, too, by the way.
Yeah.
It's a great cast for Tarantino, by the way.
Really good cast.
But yeah, like, he's trying to page somebody, and he turns around to look at the woman who lives there, and he's like, "Bitch, how do you live like this?" And she's like, while he's on hold, he's like, "Bitch, how do you live like this?" And she's like what? And he's like this. You got some repugnant shit in here. Like, it's so fucking funny and out of the blue. It's so great. He has so many more lines like that, though, that just are hilarious. Yeah. Chris Tucker's in this briefly, too.
Yeah, very briefly.
Great cast. I'm very surprised, honestly. Like, as I read the cast, I'm like, holy shit. Tarantino did work with De Niro. He did work with Keaton. Yeah. He worked with all these people before. It's just the movie that people didn't really watch as much.
You've got to watch it, Kyle. Don't let any of the naysayers
no, I am.
from it anymore.
I'm glad we're on this year, so like I can get around to it,
Because I was
absolutely,
I was the same
and now
way.
it's on Netflix too, so it just got added there. So you'll definitely enjoy watching it there. For sure. So now it's time to put together this fucking bracket, and we all have completely different number ones. This is very interesting. Man, shit. I guess Boogie Nights is like the highest-ish.
Because I've got that at
in terms
2.
of like it's y'all's 2 and mine 1.
You've got that at 2, right, Kyle?
Yeah, I do. I'm totally fine with that.
So that's definitely got to be number 1.
Okay. I guess Jackie Brown if we're arguing for commonalities next.
Okay.
Because I have it at 3 and you have it at 1.
Okay.
I know Kyle doesn't have it, but you'll like it. I
You're
know
gonna
you'll
love
like
it, man.
Cool.
Cat. And then I'd feel ridiculous if I don't put Fifth Element here because I've seen it so many fucking times like Kyle has.
I mean, we can put like Chasing Amy or something before it then. That was at least on all of our lists.
That's true. Yeah, and it was high for all of us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's go Chasing
and
Amy.
LA Confidential, I think that was both high for everybody, right?
Oh, yeah, it was. You're right. LA Confidential at 4 and then Fifth Element?
Yeah.
At 5, that's
okay.
appropriate.
Because I want to... At 5, right?
5.
At number 5, we got... right? So stupid. Sorry. JD and I have Gattaca.
Gattaca!
We're kind of close to each other. Gattaca! So we could go with Gattaca at 6.
Okay.
And then Starship Troopers.
I like that. Man,
Star
Bitch Troopers.
We would like to know more.
It's two great sci-fi movies, by the way.
Just hope it's not over before we get some.
And I assume in the war movies talk, that would have been in there if we were talking about
100%.
fantasy wars.
100%, because you get all of it. You get the whole story of the growing from, like, school student all the way to, like, fucking, like, captain. Like, you get the whole god military story,
Yep.
As Good as It Gets, I guess, should be next, I guess?
Yeah.
It's commonality?
Yeah.
And then Donnie Brasco?
Sure. Do it.
Is that good?
Yeah, because it would have sat very similarly in my list, I'm sure, if I had rewatched it.
Oh, gotcha.
With y'all's.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's great, dude.
Yep.
You definitely will not forget about it.
Forget about it. Hey,
how you doing?
what it is.
Hey, how you Jesus. Unfortunately, James Gandolfini is not in that movie.
So what? Who cares?
He fucking should be, though. I'm the only one with Contact, but we have left. We have Men in Black between JD and I. Mm-hmm. Kyle and I have Face Off. I have it kind of low, but Kyle has it. Scream 2 is a great fucking pick.
Yeah. I would love an excuse to rewatch Scream 2. It's been too long.
I'm literally just gonna put it in here. Fuck it. I don't even care about order anymore. All right. So Scream 2 is 10, even though whatever. Fuck it. Who cares? And you know what? So what? Who cares? And after that, I say, I guess Men in Black-ish.
Okay. Men in Black-ish.
That's That's funny. Is that 11? Yeah, that's at 11. Man, there's a lot of sci-fi in here. All right. That's great, though. Good sci-fi, though. So Men in Black is 11. And we have Face Off. And, well, I still have Contact. We can do Face Off, though, because I fucking love that movie.
I need to watch it.
And we all got it. We all got it, man. Well, I mean, at least...
It was my number 11.
No, you said that about so many movies, I don't believe you.
No, I said...
It was my number 11.2.
No, you did say that originally, that Face Off was your 11,
Yeah.
Consistent as swear.
So we're going to 13. So Face Off. I still have Contact, and we have Lost World, which is great.
Both of those. Put them on there.
And okay.
In that order.
Lost
Cool.
World first. Oh, you want Contact first?
Because then it'll make me watch it. So.
Yeah, I need to watch that
movie.
too. I have not seen that as an adult.
I'm so glad that my
World.
homework is still only Contact, As Good as It Gets, Gattaca, and Jackie Brown. That's not bad.
That's pretty good.
Oh yeah,
those are fucking great movies.
Yeah.
Then we have 2 spots left. We have Event Horizon.
We should do Austin Powers.
Let's see.
Austin Powers. Okay.
Austin Powers and Liar Liar, or all of mine are accounted for. Don't worry about me. So like Event Horizon, Austin Powers, and Liar Liar.
I'll go Event Horizon. I want to talk about that,
Okay.
and I want a reason to rewatch it.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. Also, I'm putting in Austin Powers and then Event
Okay,
Horizon.
Cool. Sweet.
And some of these matches are just stupid. It's gonna be great. They make no sense. There's so much sci-fi in here. It's
awesome.
great. The only honorable mentions I wanted to bring up is Con Air,
Yes.
because sometimes you gotta put down the bunny.
Well, I
that
couldn't
movie.
just put
Con
the
Air's
bun
great.
back in the box.
Oh, it's so great. It's so dumb. It's great. I love it. And The People versus Larry Flint, which I watched recently, is so... Woody Harrelson's probably his best performance, honestly.
Okay.
Like, it's so fucking
I don't
good.
think I've ever watched it.
I haven't.
I think it's on Stars or something, if you guys have Stars.
Yeah, okay.
I think that's where I
Okay,
watched
cool.
it. Waiting for Guffman's good, too. Have you guys seen that?
No.
It's one of those Christopher Guest... what's the other one that he's done? Best in Show?
Oh, I love
It's like
those
that,
movies.
but it's about theater. Yeah. It's the one before that, though. So, like, I think this one got as much acclaim, but it was just kind of under the radar because it was
You
early
do The
in
Wind
his
Rises
career.
or whatever, too, whatever that movie is.
Oh, yeah,
Mighty Wind
I think.
and Mascots. And,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Waiting for Guffman's hilarious. There's a lot of theater jokes in it, though, because it's about a theater play or whatever. So that's funny. In and Out, where Kevin Kline is mistaken for a gay
Good
person,
movie.
and
That
then
movie's
he's
fun,
actually
yeah.
gay.
It's fun.
Good movie.
Funny movie. Frank Oz did that movie, of all fucking people. It's a good movie, though. That's the only ones Full Monty. Full Monty. Whoops, sorry, hit the mic. Full Monty's great.
Good one. Yeah.
Wanted to bring that up. Lots of heart in that movie, surprisingly. I never thought I would tear up at people stripping, but that's what happened. Highly enjoyable. Did anybody else have any
I
honorable mentions?
had Scream's Bad Stepbrother. I Know What You Did Last Summer. That movie's fine.
Gotcha.
Fine. Teenagers get stabbed in that movie. It's fine.
They does.
It's fun. Did you have any, JD? Besides, I guess the ones that we already mentioned.
I like Air Force One, man. I don't know why. I remember
come out
watching
this
that
year?
movie.
I
Oh,
really
yes.
like that movie, too.
Shitload as a kid.
No, that's fun.
Get off my
Another
plane.
very
Yeah.
old. Not his most iconic bad guy performance, but still
good,
fucking
though.
good.
Yeah, it's still good.
fucking good.
So
and then
good.
I really like Gross Point Blank. I don't know, Jeff. You said you feel like the only person in the world that doesn't like
I
that
thought it was
movie,
okay.
or thinks
Yeah.
it's just okay. I remember liking it a lot.
Yeah, a lot of people do. I'm in the minority on this. Absolutely.
Other than that, no, I don't think I have anything else.
Good year, man.
Yeah, great year.
To put a fine tip on it, great fucking year. Like, even better than 96, and that was a pretty solid year. Sorry there's no Good Will Hunting. That didn't have a wide release until, like, February 98. So that's when we're going to talk about it and make Kyle watch it.
Yeah, I'll finally see that movie.
I'm so excited for you to watch that and cry with us. So that's it for this episode of Enter Champions of Pod Tournament.
Nailed it.
Fucking nailed it.
Cool. Perfect. So that's all she wrote. I'm Jeff Widdy, Widdy on Twitter. I almost forgot for a second. And I don't write for Horror Geek Life anymore, so just find me wherever. Because, I just don't write anymore, and they want people that write. So I just don't have time for that shit. Unfortunately. So, Kyle, you're streaming still,
Yeah,
right?
I'm still in the
Every
middle
Wednesday?
of this goddamn Birth by Sleep game that just won't ever end. But watch me finish it up on Wednesdays on Twitch, /subculture, whatever. You fucking know it.
You fucking know. Don't even lie. You know it.
I think we're coming up with some new thing over at Subcultured, some new podcast or something. I don't know. I'll keep you updated. It'll be fun.
Oh, okay, cool. Awesome.
So yeah,
I'm looking forward to that
stay
shit.
tuned to that, and that's it. That's it for me. That's all you can do.
Oh, okay. All right, and JD, I mean, I keep saying it every time, but I swear we're going to do another John Mayer podcast episode.
I hope so, man.
Especially after I watch that interview with him.
Oh, I need to watch that.
On Bobby
I need
Bones.
to watch that.
It's great,
how long,
dude. It's
how
so
long is
good.
that one?
It's on YouTube. It's 25 minutes. There's an hour-long podcast, though, and it's as riveting as that shit.
Okay.
So, it's and funny.
I'll get to it this weekend. Get to it for show.
So I think that's the only place people can find you. I don't want to speak for you, but I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's that and fucking Pokemon and a couple other...
Okay, nobody's going to find you there. So,
plenty of people will find me there. It's a very popular game. Kids.
Believe me, plenty of people, they know me.
People. Legendary Pokemon. It's going to be huge.
A great, diverse, terrific group
Great
of people. Jesus Christ. All right, cool. So let's end this shit, and we'll be back to debate our top 16, which you can soon find on our Facebook page, Entertournament of Champions. Go subscribe on iTunes, and you can find us on YouTube, too, if you like looking at a picture while you hear us talk. And, yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all she wrote. So, see you guys later on the... Oh, yeah, high-pitched ending.
Oh, God! What the fuck?